Hello, everyone.
I was looking at this too.
Charisma. We're a Dungeons and Dragons channel.
Don't you dare apologize for that, Bobby.
Always.
Own it.
Hey, sorry, guys. Sorry about that.
No! She did it.
And the funny thing is, he's apologizing for trying to say something really nice to somebody about something.
Yeah.
If he was talking shit, that would be one thing. But he was saying something nice about someone else and complimenting them.
Bad timing, though.
Don't like it.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Hello, everyone.
Apologize, Bobby.
Dungeons and Dragons. I'm excited to be here. Hopefully, gonna have a player death tonight.
Ow!
I make that joke too much. I think it's like
Why would
it
you?
happen?
But you wish for it. Weekly, I think. You relish it.
Okay,
Listen,
guys,
listen.
I will sacrifice Maeve. It's fine.
Oh man! Oh darn!
Listen, the worst part about a
Maeve.
player death is then you gotta go get more graphics made. You gotta get art done. You gotta make
Unless you're me.
nameplates. It's a nightmare.
That's what we're saying. It's economical to let us live.
I tried to make a cute nameplate.
It is
They
really
look
No.
great.
They are cute. I feel
They're
honest.
beautiful.
Kate made some new nameplates.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Then you have to like do it again when Daye
Yeah.
can't roll her saves.
You have to change the text.
You
Very
gotta go into
difficult.
Photoshop and replace the image, and oh my god, it's just a whole ordeal, you know.
That's much too much work.
It's not my fault. All my dice are cursed. Give me more. I don't know.
Oh no! I hope someone doesn't buy me more dice.
Sure, that's the answer.
I have some Bobby dice.
Hey,
Yeah,
some
dice,
away.
but we
I'm
don't want.
good.
Thanks.
We're gonna give Daye all the Bobby dice, just all of us.
Maybe
Send
if
to her.
you all give me your cursed Bobby dice, like by the time they get to me, they'll Bobby dice themselves into good rolls.
Bobby
Yeah, there
dice
you go.
themselves.
There you go.
Or just
Like
like
a negative,
everyone's
like a
dice
positive?
because apparently that makes them roll well.
Okay, come
No.
lick them.
Anyway,
There's gonna be an in-person
that's,
game soon.
Episode title. Okay,
Different
come lick them.
Kind
Let's all bring our dice.
next week. That's next
Can
week,
that be
right?
like the sound when someone subscribes or something like that? Can it just
Okay, come lick them.
We're never gonna say that again. We're just can we all agree that we're done with that?
Not a sex cult.
Not a sex
Oh
cult.
man.
Not a sex cult.
All right. We're gonna go to
Yeah,
the quick
sorry.
intro, and then we're gonna play some D&D. Literally, 1 minute.
D&D.
Dearest Diary, this is Slug, and these are my thoughts and inner workings. Alright, Chapter 1. Some people are too tall. Chapter 2. Wildlings are weird. I still don't trust them. Where did he get those board shorts from? What's under the wooden mask? Huh? Those are good thoughts. Good job, Slug. Chapter 3. Erica Roddy. Is she into me? Probably, because I fill out the behind of these britches so well. It's undeniably my best asset. Well, next to my shining personality, good to know I've still got it. Chapter 4. That's about all the thoughts I've had today. I hope you've enjoyed this, Mr. Diary. And, well, you're quite boring. I don't think I'll visit again. Have a good one.
Thoughts with Slug.
All right. The Guardian. His weeping fades as his aspect joins the crown next to Luthen. And as he does, Dresden, you start to notice this slow, pulsating ripple emitted from that bladed safety you've created inside your mind. And as it flows, you see that energy expand off into the darkness and slowly draw out as if it was sketching the outlines of a large building all around you. Something that's been there this whole time, but you haven't been able to see it. And it's kind of impossible to make out. There's just not quite enough energy. The ripples die out too fast, but in your imagination, you see something grand just outside of the grip of your senses. And then you look inside, inward, to that giant ring of blade. And it could be your imagination, but that shadow, that grinning shadow perpetually, his grin just a little bit brighter, a little happier, holding that crown with two hands out to you, offering it to you, you know, yours for the taking. And he just kind of wades back and forth, staring at you, Dresden, trying to tempt you to take the crown and put it on. And outside, all of you guys see all the animals around you. They start to stir, making a little bit of a commotion, and they all turn and look up at that super bright moon. And you start to see wisps of smoke begin to wash away the Guardian as he's standing next to Dresden holding arms, and that being, that essence, his spirit starts to flow into Dresden. And one by one, all of the animals around you, they begin to pop, shedding this animalistic form for something more human. 2 legs, 2 arms, and a face, and they all, like waking up from a dream, start to get up and look around. And Dresden, you come to, and you look at them, and they all look at you, waiting. It's almost like they're waiting for permission to move on, like they've been stuck here, helping the Guardian, but it's time now. Waiting for your approval, your say-so, your okay. You all just notice them staring. And this is where we begin the night.
Just look around at all of them. Go.
And you start to see smiles ripple across all of them. Almost something childlike, something very pure. And they look to each other. And in this burnout of light, they just poof and disappear. And they don't turn into crests like the other things did. It seems like their essence, their full essence, just dissipates and becomes the air, the trees, the ground, the flowing, rushing water all around you. And one by one, the lights in the forest just blink out. And you're left basically all alone. And the only 2 left are Tomo and Fitz.
You guys are gonna stay around for a bit, hopefully. Maybe.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not going nowhere. I'm here for the long haul, Master Dresden.
Good.
All right. Where are we going next?
I have no fucking clue.
Oh, okay. Well, you know. Do let me know when you figure it out, though. Mhm.
Yeah, you'll be the first to know.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Everyone.
So that was a bit unexpected. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't realize all the animals were also people, formerly people. That's surprising.
Yes,
Do you think they were held against their will?
I don't think so.
He did not
Wait.
seem the type.
Maybe.
Does that mean that we killed a person?
When?
Well, if all the animals are people, when we first got here...
Well, none of them are people. They're souls.
Oh, that's a good point.
I don't think that bear was a person. I mean,
Yeah, I think
But these
it's.
ones were?
I think it's
Well.
part of like the reflection. Maybe the process. Maybe when they get to that part, and then they go back to their original form before they move on. Or
But do not forget, Pop, that the creature or soul attacked us first. It was self-defense. And we have killed many in self-defense. So do not feel bad.
and there were like multiple crests when we killed that one, right? So I wonder if there are multiple souls in that blob.
Is it like one crest per soul?
I do not
I
know.
assume.
Should we not have had them help us before you sent them on, Dresden?
I don't think they were able to get into the actual, into the city or anything.
Well, oh, Dresden!
Yeah.
You have not broken your promise to the Empress. You can tell her you have gotten rid of the Guardian, so she can help Trest. He is no longer here in the forest, no?
I bet she already
Yes,
knows.
But the problem is she can see my crown.
You
So,
can attack
yes,
it from... Okay, well...
but also no. I don't know.
Can you send word to her and not actually meet face to face?
That's a pretty good plan.
We could try.
Well, I
But
think
what
we're
if
gonna
my
have to
friend-
do this face to face, guys. We can't avoid this. We just And
No,
the
he
Guardian's gone
sends
now.
one of you, not one of you, because you were captured. He sends one of you, or with news it's been done, but that he has to take care of something else. And someone takes
I-
trust with them, and she can check out the forest for herself. He is gone.
Right. It just seems like an extra step. I think we need to go forward with saving trust, and then, like we were saying, trying to separate the Empress from Einbach and find
Yes,
a way
this was-
to turn her
this
back to
was-
being good.
It's what I was saying was how we save trust.
I'm not sure I would trust her alone with trust. Having met her once, she looked
Okay.
at trust like a piece of dirt.
Do we even know where she's at? Because I thought we had heard that she wasn't at the castle or the place that we, where you got.
Well, we were at the Granite
imprisoned and-
Hold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that she's not there. And then you said she came through a portal or something, Dresden, I believe, or like she just appeared, or
Yeah, she just arrived.
Well, Pup told us all of her children or gods, the tieflings, they all had strings leading to a different part of the city somewhere. So maybe she's staying there. Maybe.
Well, I said that I saw threads that they were going somewhere, but I didn't see where they were going.
But yeah, it's just if they're all working directly underneath her, maybe wherever those are leading back to, or where her hub is, her palace. Maybe I don't know for sure, but it's a lead.
I don't think we're going to try and surprise her. And we sent word for her once, and she showed up. So it'll probably happen
Oh.
again.
That's true.
You think she could already know?
She might.
Because
yeah, I
if,
think so.
because
Well,
if you that's with her might be able to feel it, like
Might. I'm not sure he can feel anything right now. He looked
Dude.
not available.
Did she specify how you got rid of him? I mean, then you still did what she asked.
I'm not saying I didn't. I know I did. I'm not sure she's going to be content with me containing the Guardian in her presence. That's my concern.
But with him, you are stronger, and to perhaps sway this other one? I'm sorry, I'm
Perhaps.
still learning all about this. It's very odd.
Yeah, you and me both. I don't actually know. Can't hurt having him, but
Do they help you? Do they like make
Did
you
they
stronger? or
offer
give you
any kind of
powers?
help? Or
I mean, yes. He offered me hope and his
is
strength, but
very-
I don't know what that means in the real world.
Right.
They're very, very useful things, though.
I guess.
Well, we're gonna go up a member or an ex-member of Serenity and another one of you. So, if those two guys in your head can offer any kind of gifts or boons or something, I think this is the time.
Well, yeah, obviously, Rez, but it's not like I have him on speed dial. And I know you're
can't-
asking, what's
You
that?
can't talk to.
That's
Oh,
when you
all
have
right.
a can full of rocks and you throw it at something. It doesn't matter. It's a capital city thing.
I just don't know if you're able to communicate with them whenever you want or how it works. I don't know how that. Yeah,
Every once in a while, they choose to talk to me, and I kind of go blind.
You've never tried to reach out to them first, though?
Maybe. I don't know. It's a tenuous
maybe-
relationship.
maybe have a sit down tonight, meditate on it a little bit, and see what you can get out of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think if he had a plan, he would have probably talked to me, but he said he'd be there for me. We would be together. So, I think we can rely on him. I don't think he would have given himself up if he didn't think there's something good would have come from it.
All right.
I'm not sure just what we can plan on is what I'm saying.
That sounds reasonable.
A large
So-
part of the economy here is based around both hunting the beasts which just evaporated.
Some.
I'm sorry.
Some. We don't know if they
Some.
all evaporated.
Good point.
Those could have just been willing souls that were helping him.
That is true. That is true. Good point. I presumed for some reason that it was all of them. And if it was all of them, my thought was, well, that's going to change the calculus a lot about who comes here and why.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I thought it was weird that she'd want them dead because they're giving
They're the reason
crests
people come.
and keep coming back and supplying the forest with new crests. So
That would make me think that they aren't all gone.
Agreed. Can I perception check and see if we can find some glowy beings?
Well, Tomo's there and Fitz is still there.
Yes, but I mean,
just as long
forest
as they've
creatures.
tainted
A
things.
bear,
creatures.
a snake, anything that people hunt.
There's
'Cause-
nothing,
or
but
fish.
If you wanna spend maybe 30 minutes to an hour, like just scouting around, you can absolutely do that. There's nothing in your immediate vicinity. But yeah, if you want to go and scout out.
Are
Roll
you guys
a,
okay if I spend some time
Yeah.
just wandering around? I mean, hopefully I'm not in any danger anymore.
I think
Knock on wood.
It's
we
always valuable.
need to keep talking anyways, so
Yeah.
yes.
Just take a buddy.
Okay, who wants to come?
How about
Volunteers.
Tomo?
Actually, I can go with you. It's fine. Oh, Pup.
Everything goes very wrong
Everyone
when I
does.
go.
I know a
with
lot
people.
about forests.
Should we just all walk together if we're all?
Yeah,
I do not want to go. Last time it went very badly.
Pup and Cornelia, come with me. Let's go wander.
Haha, Rezik.
Okay.
Don't worry, I'll keep you filled in.
Thank you.
And Rezik, it's strange, but the voice that came through, normally crystal clear, a little fuzzy. Broke up for a little bit. Felt weak.
They're going through a tunnel. All right.
Kelwise, Cornelia, Pop, roll survival checks.
Oh man.
Get a 5.
Oh man.
Dirty 20.
Fire for that.
19.
What are you all manning for over
Oh,
there with your
man.
19? Boo,
That's
like,
gonna be
so well.
perception.
10.
I was whining before I did so well.
Yeah. The three of you guys wander off. Meanwhile, Rezik, Maeve, Dresden, you guys are left.
Serious
And Dresden,
ones.
you know that place inside your head is kind of your domain. Sometimes, unintentionally, you're kind of just thrust back there. But with a little bit of focus and a little bit of meditation, you can pull yourself there on your own.
Okay, good to know.
What are the three of you guys doing while the other ones are off?
Discussing war plans, I assume.
I mean, any plans at all, actually. We have to figure what we're doing, period. Obviously, bringing
Right.
trust back is a huge...
Get trust. Separate the two would be ideal.
Separate them if that would help to claim the other Dresden.
Ooh,
And
yes.
then we have to decide what we want to do with or about the Empress.
Take down an empire. Check. Sounds like a regular Thursday. Go.
Yeah, just a nice, easy afternoon. He's linked to her via a chain, I know that, but not like, locked at the wrist on her end. I don't know if that's a magical thing or if that's just an affectation.
Linked,
Breaking that might help.
Like a magical chain. Perhaps Pop could see it. I've heard them talk about seeing strings. Maybe they could see a chain and try to break it, but...
Maybe.
Well, I kind of agree for the whole party to be here for this, but the biggest question that I want to figure out is, the Guardian told us that Einbach curses things around him, and Cornelia brought up a good point. We don't know if he is the one that's cursing the Empress and making the Empress bad, or the other way around, because the Empress was part of Serenity, which apparently were the guardians of our realm for quite some time while mine was gone and was protecting the world. So they were good at one point.
That's why we need to separate them, because we don't know which is doing to which.
Yes.
True.
So potentially we could try to turn the Empress back to good, but the question is how. That's going to be very difficult.
Well, we know we have to take out the, or collect, however you want to put it, the other Dresden, right?
Yes. That
we
would
focus
certainly
on that
get rid of
first.
him.
And then we look to the reaction or whatever the state of the Empress after that, right? I just don't think we're going to find them apart from one another is the big problem.
I agree. I doubt she would go anywhere without him. And Tomo said that they're always together, right? Is Tomo still with us? Did he go?
I've already seen it once. Just walking.
But you've heard?
I haven't heard too much about them. That's high socialite stuff way up there. I just like to stay here on the ground, 2 feet. That's where I live.
Sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. But this chain business, very unsettling. Very unsettling. Mm-hmm.
Great.
Indeed.
Well, Dresden, if you're very, very concerned about going there with the entire group, what we could do is, send a few and try to butter the Empress up a little bit more, get some more intel on her disposition and her whole deal here, and
I didn't say it was
maybe after that, think of a plan.
No, I don't think that's really a problem. I think the next time we see her will probably be the one time we'll have a chance to take any action.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I agree.
Tomo.
Yeah.
When you saw her, where did you see her?
Well, she was just talking to some of the priests, yeah?
Just out in the open in the square?
No. There was a lot of guards and fanfare and stuff. Yeah, she don't come down very often. She was talking to some fella from Capital City, I think. He looked real expensive. Expensive is the word. That big, shiny, bright armor. Yeah.
The Prime Sentinel, right?
Oh,
Not that you would know.
Well, that's a big, mighty title there.
It's not even half of
It's
it.
a 20 crest title there.
Feed a man for a week, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that is another wrinkle, knowing that it appears that the Prime Sentinel is traveling back and forth across to this land. might work as some sort of distraction, although I don't know if we want to reveal our hand if we don't know exactly how they're mixed up in that. I don't know if he would remember me, but if we have to at some point get back to Capital City and do work there, I don't know if we want them aware of what we've been up to.
It sounds like you've had run-ins with Capital City already. Are you in trouble with them, or?
It's just a big place. I used to be a guard there, a cop there, an investigator. He was basically my boss's 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 boss. He's the top.
I see.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Well, listen, like you said before, I think we'll just do what we did last time. Try to get everyone in there if possible. And I think if we can get them alone, Einbach and the Empress, then, again, just butter her up, convince her to bring trust back, and then we make our attack. Because if we only have one chance, and this is it, then we'll have to just
we only have one
run
chance,
for it.
though, I'd rather not be in there. I don't know if we can maybe draw her out somehow.
I don't know if
Just
it's
depends on
possible.
what she knows. If she knows something has happened to him, maybe we can have Pup impersonate him and draw her out to a location, right? Might be much safer for us.
I don't know if she would be easily drawn out, though. The way you describe
tricked.
how you saw her, it sounds like she keeps herself very well guarded and
She
away
does.
at all costs.
But if the benefit is high enough, maybe we can.
Sure.
All right. Well, the question, I guess, is what would benefit the Empress enough to make her leave her station? I maybe say the Guardian. Maybe we say we capture the Guardian, but you have to come out to Dresden, and I don't know.
No, we send my thought is we send word that we've captured him. We're holding him, but we need her, perhaps, to, we play up me being soft or something and say I don't want to kill him or whatnot, but she can.
Or perhaps you wanted her to have the honor.
Something along those lines, yeah.
That's actually pretty good. Yeah, you need to really if she's like the queen of this place, really lay it on thick. Yeah, we wanted to do the honor of killing him yourself. Yeah, that could work.
But if that's possible, then we can set up an ambush, right? We can at least be in terrain that favors us and not inside that castle fortress that makes everyone pass out or puke when they start doing extracurriculars.
Right, but in this scenario, at what point do you trick her well enough to get her to fix trust before you... Or are you hoping that you separate and then she goes to good side and then she'll do it?
I think you make that part of the deal at the very beginning.
Sure.
You fix our friend, we show you where he is. It's a tit for tat in that sense.
All right.
And then we lead, once trust is revived, we lead them to the place of said ambush.
That's Dresden. That is very smart. Yes, because we need to make it so it feels like we are saying to her, we promised you a thing, you promised us a thing. We're going to make sure you go through on that thing before we give you the Guardian. That's perfect. Yeah, I agree with that entirely. That will definitely work.
Good. And then if this all works and we can get her to a more reasonable place, then I can ask her my questions as well, for she is who I need to speak to and why I came here in the first place as well.
All right. I think it's a plan. I think we run it by everyone else when they get back, but
Absolutely.
It's a start. I'm sure they'll have a bunch of ways to blow holes in it, but that's what friends are for, right? That's what good tactical thinking
well,
is
I don't
actually
know. I feel like Rezik's usually the one doing that, and he was here the whole time.
Oh, you don't know us quite well enough yet, Maeve. It's actually Dresden's job to put holes in our plans, but we'll see.
Meanwhile, three of you guys are stalking through the forest. trudging along. Pup, you first see it. You see a figure wandering around, human-esque. It's kind of weary, almost scratchy. When you see it, and it's wandering and it stops, and it wanders and it stops, and it's almost shaking a little bit. And you guys stop and you watch this thing, and it's almost twitching with a kind of a violent air to it. And you see it kind of, its face almost protruding out as it, and you start to see like a patch of fur rip out of the side of this face, and the flesh kind of dissolves off and sprinkles into light. And you see this creature slowly devolving into some kind of beast underneath, and it's just tearing at its skin, slowly just twitching.
You guys see that, right?
Yeah. Do you think we should help it? Or
That looks horrible. Don't touch it.
Should I go over there?
Kind of spread. Don't touch it.
I don't.
I
I
think
almost feel
that's
like
how they become those creatures, the people.
It's an untouchable?
Yes.
well, yeah, but we just saw a whole forest full of other creatures that didn't seem to go through that same process.
Does it
Or
look
we just
painful?
didn't see it. What if it had already happened?
Ooh, yeah, that's very possible.
Can we help?
Well, that's a good thing, right? Because
help?
then that's how they move on. I don't think we're supposed to help.
Or is it
that
how they
looks
turn into
really
something worse?
painful. I don't think
It
that's
does.
how they move on.
Ugh.
I think that's
Well,
how
what
they
could we
get
do?
stuck.
Oh,
Hmm.
what do we do to? Well, yes,
And
go
you start
pup.
to see one of its hands start to just mangle and turn, and you can almost hear snapping sounds as
I don't know if we can help
whatever's
it.
going on with its body is just reforming itself.
I can go.
Do you see anything, pup? Try looking for one of your thread things. Oh, you wouldn't. They don't
Did
pop
I
up
see
with
anything?
souls on.
No, they don't.
There's no threads here.
I'll follow you. I'll help in any way I can, but we got to be ready to run in the
Okay.
event.
Okay, and I just sprint.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
My
you
ears
sprint
I
are
up
didn't
like
mean
the
now.
down.
I meant after.
Another
And
I'm gonna
as you
hide
get
close by,
closer,
but
you start to
sneaky
see,
hiding.
Okay, roll me a stealth check, Cornelia. Pup, Koa, as you
Just in
guys
case
start to
things
see
go
this,
crazy.
it's almost like shimmering. It's like the outside of their body is like a tide pool or of sorts. It's just these waves and swirls of their body kind of almost blink in and out, and you see it's this woman, and she's maybe 30, 35 years old from what you can see from her face, but she's slowly just tearing, and you can see her screaming, and the sounds of her screams kind of wave in and out slowly. Just it's like echoes of screams, just kind of bouncing around. And she's kind of gnarled, and she kind of just looks up at you all as you
Can
walk
I-
by.
Can we help you?
Can we help?
And it seems like she's trying to talk. She starts tearing at her throat, starts scraping her way towards you, just slowly dragging herself while tearing at her throat. What are you doing?
Backing up. I'm backing up.
I'm hiding with the 28.
I wanna try to like soothe her and like rub the top of her head.
Okay, so you walk over and you start to
Gonna be
soothe her.
okay.
And her arms, her fingertips feel sharp like claws, and she drags herself towards you and pulls herself up onto you, her hand on your shoulder, her grip like a vice, as she just looks like she's in just this pain. And you start to brush the back of her head, and slowly her eyes, crazed, start to slowly calm. and you start to see her voice just kind of come through a little clearer. And you see her start to weep and cry, and she looks up at you, and she whispers something. You can't hear it, it doesn't come out. And she slowly closes her eye, and poof, turns into a big ball of light. And her energy just kind of dissipates into the trees, into the grass, and into the water all around you.
Turn to Kellwise.
I didn't do it.
Oh, I know you didn't. I watched it happen. I think that was just them passing on.
She said something, but I couldn't hear it. I didn't hear it.
That's
She's
okay.
not in pain anymore, though, right? She's okay?
No. Yes, of course.
Okay.
She's gonna be reborn, they said.
Yeah, through the source heart.
I wonder.
That's
if
a
I could
good
find
thing.
her.
Cornelia, roll me a perception check.
Okay. 22?
22. Way off. In the darkness. A good 30 feet away. You see a figure. A shadowed figure. Just the top of their head. Slowly duck down behind a bush. And disappear.
I'm gonna point it. There was a person. There's a person in that bush.
Oh, is it another glowy? Do we need to go?
No. Is it a glowy?
It was
Could
not,
I tell?
Yeah.
No, it was
wasn't
an
glowing at
actual
all.
person. Someone's watching us, guys.
All right, I'll go left. If someone wants to go right, obviously.
I'll go middle.
Okay, great. Let's surround them.
I'll do the right.
And, you guys start to slowly fan out.
Action
And
roll.
you hear a
I'm definitely doing a roll.
and this person jets out and takes off into the darkness of the forest.
Oh crap.
Are they running?
They're running.
Can I try to cast sleep? Are they beyond? I think it's like 120 feet.
Sure.
And I'll just, hey, wait, come back.
I feel bad, like making this person sleep, though. Would I do that? Ugh, yeah, I did it. I'm already doing it. 18. Oh, 23?
23. Okay, so you see this figure bolt start to run and then kind of wade back and forth as it's running and then hits the ground and slides a little bit into a tree.
Oh, I think you got him.
Yeah, I hope they're not mad, though. Let's go see if they're okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, we just came up on the glowy thing. You're not okay with the real person? The non-glowy?
Wait,
Should we
no,
just-
no, yeah, no, let's go. Wait,
Oh,
did
okay.
you not just shoot it?
I made him go to. I made him sleep
Oh, yeah, okay, never mind.
with magic.
I'm very confused. How are you feeling?
I feel good.
So, you
This-
can use magic out here and be okay?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was only inside that.
Okay. I
that
don't remember
cat.
because I never felt it anywhere.
Oh, well, that's because you're different, pup. That's good. Oh, let's go check out the
Yeah, let's
sleeping
go see
guy.
who that was and why they're here.
I hear Rezik telling me, like, right out of time.
My ears are burning.
All right, we're gonna go over there.
All right, you go over and you see a humanoid wrapped in a dark cloak with really basic clothes. You can't see much more than that. Just it's fallen over and there's a cloak covering most of its body.
Human, tall human, regular size.
Yeah, height.
Humanoid, yeah, about yeah, probably about 5.5 feet.
Okay.
and clean look, like good looking clothes, or
No, not
Dirty.
particularly. Nothing like nothing fancy.
do they look
This
rich or poor?
It just looks like sturdy,
Fair question.
like outdoor wear. It looks very not for comfort, for utility.
All right.
Well, I'll gently roll him over, but be ready.
You roll him over, and you see it's a younger man. He's got kind of a short, stubbly beard. You've never seen this guy before. He's wearing what looks to be very, very basic clothes. He's got a little belt with a knife on his belt, and other than that, he seems to be not wearing much at all.
There's no symbol, like emblem or engraving, anything to mark him.
Mm-mm.
He's a naked guy with a cloak and a belt on. Is that? Did I hear that right?
He's got
No, he has
clothes
no-
on, but
He's got no emblem on.
Oh, okay.
Any of
He
his
has
clothes.
clothes on. I kind
does
of
have
also
clothes
heard
on.
that as just like a naked dude with a belt and a knife.
You
and a
said
cloak.
you said not much else, which was like
I literally imagined it was a
Yeah.
living the love.
Freaking.
Just,
want to buy a watch?
just,
Want to buy a sundial?
Want to buy a sundial?
literally.
Oh boy.
Somebody call IXI. Anyway,
Well, I can make this guy wake up. Should we just leave and this guy alone, or should we ask him questions? Or
Maybe he was spying on us. I mean, we're sort of wanted here.
I mean, it seemed like he was spying on us.
Did seem like he was spying on us,
Maybe he
right?
just didn't want to. I don't know. Yeah.
You should ask him questions for sure.
Should we take him back to the group or should we ask him here?
Let's ask him here and maybe also take that knife away.
Yeah. Let's strip him with a knife. Anyone have any rope?
We shouldn't tie him up. Maybe we'll just wake him up, be like, "Hey, you fell and knocked yourself out," or something. So
I think
we
he'll know.
go. Well, he's gonna instantly not trust us if we just tie him up, guys.
No, we shouldn't tie him up.
I don't
But
think
we
we
also
should.
shouldn't say he just fell asleep.
It's possible. It's happened to me before.
Okay. I
I
won't
have a
tell him
lot
about.
of questions about that situation for later.
All right. So, snap.
Wait. Before you wake him up, search him. You'd be good at that, right?
Am I good at that?
I mean, yeah, that's why I was asking you.
Am I good at
specifically.
that?
Yes,
I don't
exactly.
know,
So
Hellwise,
maybe,
are you good at fishing?
yes. So maybe see if he has anything else on him, like something hidden in his boot or something hidden.
All right, I'm gonna look for anything that's something that looks familiar, especially like a listening device or something
like
that we've
rings.
been familiar
Okay.
with.
Yeah,
necklaces.
roll me an investigation.
Ends up being a 14.
14. You find he's got a few crests tucked into one of his boots. You do find a hidden dagger in the back under one of his shirts. So he's got like and this dagger, and the dagger is not just like a utility knife. It's clearly used basically only in combat. But you don't see anything else. He's got these two leather bracers, and some boots. He's got pants and a shirt as well.
Boots
Nothing
with
else
the
on him,
fur,
though.
or
the
No,
whole
he's got
club
no fur.
looking at him.
They're furless boots.
Mm.
well,
Now I think we can wake him up.
I woke up. It's my
wake him
end
up.
spell.
Do you have a clap
He
on?
kind of,
I just, like,
you kind of
poke
wake
his-
up. You kind of poke him a little bit. And he's,
Wake up!
oh,
Hi, are you okay?
yes, I'm fine. Who are you?
Well,
Who are you?
yeah. Why are you watching us?
Well, they call me Dom.
Well, nice to meet you, Dom.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
You were it looked like you were maybe following us, and then you took a bit of a spill there, Dom.
He kind of looks around. Yeah. Yeah, I saw you guys. Weird. And then I don't remember much else after that. You could see him kind of like thinking to himself.
What was weird? What are you doing out here?
Oh, just, hunting. Normal hunting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's too.
Catch anything?
Interesting. No. Seems pretty sparse tonight.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking too.
Why were you hiding in a bush like a creeper and then ran away? Why didn't you say hi?
Oh, I didn't know. I mean, like, you guys are dangerous? You guys nice people? I don't know.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, we assure you, we are nice people.
Well, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too,
people.
Dom.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want some help up?
Sure.
Okay.
Thanks.
I'll just
And you help him up, and he's a little spindly. On the taller side, he pats himself off and notices that his knife is gone. Fair enough.
Sorry,
guys
we're on the same
around-
boat, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Well, nice to meet you.
Yeah. So we were hunting around here, but are you with the guild?
The guild
Marks?
with Marks. Why would you think I'm with Marks?
I don't know, you're out here hunting and figured that's what they do.
Oh, I guess that's true. No, not me. I'm solo, flying solo.
Why?
All right. Well,
What? But why?
thanks for not killing me. Why?
Yeah.
I don't have to
Yeah.
share. I get the full spoils of the kill, It's all mine.
Well, how'd you get here if you're not with the guild?
I walked? How'd you get here?
How'd you get to Hojo?
Hojo? Well, I was with the guild. Not anymore.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense, Dom.
What happened there? They kick you out, or? Yeah.
He holds his hands up in the air and starts to stretch. And then immediately pulls back this bracer, clenches his fist, and you see this bolt shoot out. And all of you, including Maeve, Rezik, and Dresden, you hear this.
That can't
Right.
be good.
Hold on.
No, we got it. That was pretty good. That was, that's why I prefer you to. Yeah.
Up into the air.
Sound Wile E.
he's like-
Coyote makes.
Oh, wow. How did that? And then he bolts.
I'm gonna punch him.
I was gonna say I was gonna clock it. As soon as that happened, like the first thought was punch him in the face.
Yeah, the opportunity of attack.
Who wants to punch him first?
All
Just
three of us.
punches
Okay, all
in the
three of you
face.
guys.
I'm the last
punch.
one. I have the most reach.
Okay, so 2 fists come. All you guys, 3 of you guys roll attacks, all with advantage because he's really kind of invested.
Just a
to shoot
barrage
this
of
thing
fists.
Oh, that's good.
That's a 25.
off. Okay.
It ends up being a
25.
26, bitches.
Ooh.
So Cornelia gets a sneak attack and hits him just right in that part of the jaw that scrambles your brain. Basically, there's just in boxing. You
There's
can
a
hit
spot.
someone in the jaw.
There's
and
a
it
spot.
basically just makes your brain not work anymore. Kel-wise, you hit him in the other head. His head just kind of at the same time, and then Pup. What do you?
Like
Yeah,
on Kung Fu
comes
Hustle.
around.
Stick
Right into his
right
face.
at the top of the head.
And then the stick just smacks him right in the top of his head, and he just drops like a sack of potatoes.
Oh well,
You
we're
guys
gonna
hear
have company.
a crunch.
Yeah.
Oops.
So
Well, he did lie to us.
So is there something happening in the skies or just noise? Or is there a poof or
Hold
what's
on.
happening?
I'm gonna pull this bracer off, and then we gotta go. We've got to go, like right now.
All right.
Razek, there was this guy, and we saw him, and then he was watching us, and then so we said hi, and then he set off that thing into the sky, and apparently he's not with the guild, but he used to be with the guild. It's a little sus. We're taking his bolt thing, and we knocked him out.
All right, so they found a guild spy, knocked him out, but he was able to launch off that thing. So should we head over there, or?
Well, we should probably not be where that thing made noise.
I
So,
assume they're running back here, and perhaps then we should all move further away.
Let's go towards them, and then skedaddle. Yeah.
Good plan. Wish I could
Oh.
tell them that.
You guys think we should make our
I
way
did-
back to them?
I just
Yeah,
take
let's
off.
go back to the. Yeah. Let's head back in the direction we knew they were at.
We're
We'll
just all
eventually meet
running
up.
at each other in slow motion, is what I'm imagining.
If there were doors, we'd be like Scooby Doo.
Oh,
yes!
Yeah. So you guys run, and you guys are both making your way towards where the others were last seen, and you guys kind of meet up. And you don't hear anything along the way. You don't see anything. You don't see anyone. And you guys just kind of meet up back
But-
together. The forest is quiet. Very quiet.
What time is it?
There's really no time of day.
Still nighttime.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the moon is.
We've
just
had quite a bit
perpetually
of day going. Okay.
up. Yeah.
Hi, gang.
You guys had
so
recently
should we run
done
away
long
now?
Yeah, I have a feeling we're about to be beset upon by maybe a lot
Who
of
made
people.
that noise?
This thing.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
so-
grabbed it for
You got it. Good, let's go.
Something. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Great.
They might be able to track that, by the way. Just FYI, but you never know.
Here,
Let's
is it
go.
magic? And I just like shove it in Rezik's face.
We can bury it.
I would
Bury
need
it or
time with it. I would just
It's
assume
not-
it's probably magic.
You can just see if it's glowing or something.
You cannot just detect magic, wizard?
You need 10 minutes with it, but if you want to risk it,
Well, can you do that while we walk?
Yes, does it have to be
stop,
stationary?
I turn around, I start running back, and I scream, "Run!" Everyone.
All
Okay,
right,
we'll
let's
figure it
go.
out later. Let's go.
I would just leave it behind, but okay, let's
This
go.
moment is very like, I don't have a match, I can't light a fire. Are you a witch or not?
All right. Are you guys running? You guys are still in that deep, that valleyed ravine. Are you guys running upstream or downstream? Farther away from Hojo or towards Hojo?
Further from Hojo.
I'm a further away. Yeah, that was my thought.
All right.
And
you
James,
guys
can I
continue to
cast
run.
ritual
So-
spells while we're running, or is like you allow that,
no.
or
You know,
Okay.
you have to kind of like sit with it. It has to be basically.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like meditating, almost.
Wizards.
So you guys run for about 30 minutes or so, and you see.
If there's a really like huge tree in the open or something like that, I just want to stash that gauntlet there. Someplace that would be easy to come back to and find again. Someplace that would be easy to stake out.
Dresden, roll me an investigation with advantage.
With Dresden Vantage. Sweet.
And we're not walking like in a single file line, right? We've sort of split up and we're all like leaving multiple trails, I would imagine. Like
Jeez,
20 yards away from each other. I think Dresden
yeah, we
said that.
can.
Yeah, I think we should do that.
I'm probably on
It's only a 10.
Rezik.
Split up? I thought we were
Yeah,
all running.
it's hard to tell this device that you're holding in your hands. It just looks like, I mean, it appears to just be like a almost a miniature looking crossbow that's been pulled back, and then when it's pulled back and loaded, you can fit a bracer over to cover it up, but you unfortunately have to pull it out to fire it. So it's just like a little stealth crossbow.
So it
that's all you can
seems-
tell. You can't really
it
tell
seems
if it's magical or
mechanical.
not. It on sight, yeah, it makes sense
That it would be at
mechanically,
least mechanical at
that it
one
could
point.
just
Okay.
fire off a bolt like that.
All right.
Can I call dibs on it?
It's pretty cool.
Still just looking for a spot to maybe stash it and then go a little further.
Okay. Yeah. You know, in the
Especially
rocks,
if we can find a spot where there might be like a higher spot we can then wait and look down on.
Well, yeah, because there are mountains to basically your east and west of you. There are big ridges. So if you were to head up the mountainside, there's less tree cover way up top, but you could go pretty high up these mountains, and there's still a lot of tree cover, like canopy cover. Then you could head up there easily and find, a pretty large tree.
Well, I was hoping to have a spot to put it down at the base and then go up and watch that spot.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where we can conceal ourselves and just
There are
tell
clearings and
things.
such. So, actually, Kelwise, roll me a survival check.
This
So
is why he's
you
head of
kind of let
strategy.
him know. And
23.
23. So, Kelwise, you know how the more space a tree has, the bigger it can grow, just because it's not competing as much. So you find a little clearing, and you find a large tree and such, just kind of following where the density of the trees and stuff like that. It seems to be just like on Aventide. The same rules apply to this forest. It's just the lack of sun is a little bit different. And so you're able to find a spot exactly like that. There's a big clearing and a few large trees, and you place that item down, and then you can kind of go up the ridge and get like a good 25-foot vantage point on the item. Whoa. Somebody's smoking in one of the apartments below me. A lot. A lot. Because all my windows are closed, and
We're
it's
like,
still coming into my apartment.
There's another
I got you.
Are you sure the building isn't on fire?
Right, maybe. Yeah.
Cornelia.
Yeah, there's just like a fire behind him. Someone's smoking, man.
This is fine.
Sanji, Cornelia's
Everything's
addicted
fine.
now.
Everything's fine.
Is someone barbecuing?
Everything's
All right, so we found a spot.
We found a spot.
All right, let's go up. As far as we can get and still get good eyes on it, but good. Kelwise, do you have optics?
I've got 2 eyes.
Okay. I thought
We
I
don't
saw
really
that.
have. No, that was me goofing around.
I have one
Okay.
too.
Damn it. Yes, you do have one. All right.
Technically, we all have one of those.
A good ways away, so if they did spot us, we'd still have a good head start, but enough that we can see exactly what's going on here. And then I want to sit and wait if that works for you guys. Catch our breath, get some water, get something in our
Yeah.
stomachs.
Sounds good.
Try
to
not
me.
to make any trail from here on out on the way up.
All right.
Okay. Roll a stealth check with advantage.
All of us?
All of us.
Whoever is trying to clear the trail. Who's the last person on the trail?
Me.
Okay, Cornelia.
I'll do it.
It should be. It's
I'm covering our tracks.
gonna be a really lousy time to roll a natural one.
Oh wow, I rolled
Say that.
a double 5, so it ends up being 15.
Oh, that's
15.
still good though.
15.
Still good.
15. DM,
like
get it.
They don't like roads. Okay. You do a fairly decent job of covering your tracks as you guys go up onto that mountain ridge, and you guys wait, and it's very, very, very quiet for a long time. How long are you guys waiting?
I would say at least a couple hours, right?
Couple hours? Okay.
I'd give it
For
an
me,
hour at least.
Yeah, at least an hour. How long do you think it would take to walk from Hojo? It took us a while, so you figure if they're sending an army, they have to see it. They have to,
Well, they don't
Organized.
in earshot though.
or
It took-
eye
yeah.
shot.
And it
Yeah.
took you almost a day to walk all the way down to where you were.
Hmm.
You guys
Okay.
are about a day's march away from Hojo, and then some.
So we're waiting 2 days.
But you guys wait.
Yeah, I
And-
think we give it a couple hours
Yeah, definitely.
just to be safe.
A couple hours pass, and you're not hearing much, and you do see 1 or 2 wandering spirits move in and out from a distance. Now up on your higher vantage point, you can see a little bit more of the forest, which is dense. And this valley, you can kind of see down a little bit. It just seems to extend off forever. It doesn't seem like it ends. It just winds down and around. But after a few hours, Maeve, you hear it. Just a rustle of leaves, and it catches your ears. Slightly unnatural. And you guys are watching this clearing, and from far away, a figure, slowly, watching the ground, creeps out of the trees, looking left, looking right, clearly looking for prints and tracking, comes upon the tree and sees the device, picks the device up, makes a weird hand signal, it's too dark for you to see what it is, into the tree line, and then starts looking around.
What do we do?
Do we do a thing?
What do we do?
And he looks around for a long time, and then sees something, and looks up to the ridge. Not quite where you guys are, but clearly in your direction. And a familiar voice comes out. Hello? Pop? Friend? Are you there?
Wait, who is this?
So, Marky Mark.
Marks.
Oh,
Uh-oh. So he's looking for his spy friend.
You know, you've taken my kill. Apparently. From what I've heard. It's not very friendly of you.
Do I respond?
Who exactly is this guy?
That's the guild master.
It's the absolute guild master?
Yeah, and we became friends.
Like actual friends?
Yeah.
He was hunting. He was hunting the guardian, and we killed him before.
Yeah, the problem is
could
we
do
don't
it.
know how many
Technically,
more of them there are out here.
But
Probably a
the
lot.
guild works for the Empress, and you did it at the Empress's bidding. So
Yeah.
Right, but
True,
we were
should we
he
tell him?
has
hoping...
no claim. He has no claim.
He was hired by her, but if we did it, then maybe...
They're going to assume that the Guardian left a corpse, left a corporal form, I would think.
Tell him I ate it.
So I think he's going to assume we have it.
No, none of these
Which
things
means-
have left corporeal forms. What are you talking about?
Pop,
Hope you can play dead.
are you up there? Why don't you come down? We'll have a little chat.
What does he mean? The creature you saw that burst. Does he mean that creature?
He means the Guardian.
He means the guardian.
He was hunting
Definitely.
the guardian.
So he thinks, like you said, he
We
thinks
know
we
you've got the
won.
Guardian.
There you go.
We know you've got him. Or you've been traveling with him. Or you lied to me. Which hurts my feelings. It really does. I thought we were friends.
You
Felt
can
like
be
I
the
rely on you.
guardian and play dead.
Oh yeah.
And I turn into the
No.
guardian, and I take my
No.
clothes off, and I give them to
No,
one of you. And
Stop. Don't move. Here's the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Good job, play dead.
They don't want us to have got the Guardian. He
Hmm.
wants to have got the Guardian. We're not coming out of this alive if they get us.
So we have
yeah,
to...
I've heard that type of
Well,
tone
I should
before.
put my clothes back on.
Yes, please. Cornelia,
We have to
I
fight
need you to
him?
sneak up the ridge higher. Make sure we're not getting descended upon from above. All right? Eyes out.
Okay.
Be quiet.
I'm very confused what body he thinks we have. Nothing else has
He
happened.
doesn't know exactly what the Guardian is.
Oh.
It could be a god for all he knows, right?
Mm.
He knows we've got it and we intend to turn it in. So he wants it from us. He's going to take it from us however he wants. Right now we're uphill. We've got an advantage. We don't know how many of them there are, right? We don't know if they're climbing the mountain around us right now, but we know they know we're here, right?
Cornelia, roll me a
Rude.
perception check.
Rude of them when you are only doing what the Empress asked you for them to then be so rude about it.
They're not worried about completing the task. They're worried about getting the
11.
reward.
11. Yeah, I mean, you look around,
mean,
Cornelia. It doesn't seem like anybody has come up. It doesn't seem like there's anybody in the tree line. And from the looks of it, it really doesn't look like he knows if you're there or not. There's maybe an air of hesitancy on this guy's side as he's calling up. And he makes another hand signal off into the tree line.
So I was checking behind us above the ridge and they're below. So I'm going to go back down to the group and just say I don't see anybody.
Good.
I feel like he has been tracking us and didn't have enough time to flank us from what I can tell.
All right. So we stay still. We stay quiet. This is on them. They're looking for us. They don't know if we're actually here or not. So we wait them out. Anyone else got a better idea?
You think if we wait them out, it's giving them time to flank us? Should we try to move stealthily? Because Pup can potentially make us quieter and we can keep moving away from them.
What does it look like above us?
The trees start to thin out the higher you go. So if you go much higher, the tree density is going to thin out a lot. And it becomes much more mountainous terrain. It gets steep pretty quickly.
Is there any place where rockfall might be likely?
Rockfall. Not really. The stones here are almost like a shale. It's like it looks like there's big sheets of stone.
Oh, well, that's perfect for a rockfall, though.
Yeah.
It slides right off. It's like
Will
ideal,
it tumble
actually.
though? It might not tumble,
But there
it'll
just
slide
isn't. There
off.
isn't a lot of like loose boulders or rocks to fall. Everything seems like it's a piece of the larger mountain itself. There are a few spots that you could probably sneak up to, and if there were some there, you could easily. I mean, the cliffside being as steep as it is, you could easily drop rocks down from there, and it would be very effective as a
I would
deterrent.
almost say let's not hide in plain sight because they'll know where to look because they're hunters. So maybe Rezik can even we can hide in plain sight if he can do an illusion. I just feel like they would know where to look if we hide in a very specific spot. Like, hey, there's boulders. Let's go there. They're hunters. They were bad at their job because a lot of them died, but that is what they do.
Fair.
We could stay here, but have a plan of what to do if looks like they're going to come search up here.
You do have a plan?
No, I'm saying that I agree with you that we should just stay here and wait it out, but I think we should have a plan in case it looks like they are coming to search up here.
Well, that's why I
how
was
to
looking
get
for
out.
rocks.
Yes.
I was looking to be able to cause an avalanche down on them. Doesn't look like that's the case.
Start pushing them.
I've got a couple snares, like rope snares. We might be able to fashion some traps or something.
Well,
Yeah, just
we can-
plant some. It's a good
how
idea,
far? How far is it to those? You said there were some spots that we would be able to have like rocks to be able to toss down that we could potentially retreat to. James, how far?
It's about
is that?
50
I wanna
feet,
Rambo
but
this
it's
shit.
But
Sorry.
Okay.
it's
So
about
close.
it's about 50 feet up the ridge. It's close, but it's steep, so it wouldn't be
Yeah.
an easy climb.
Okay.
And as you
All
guys are talking, you see Marks start to slowly back up towards the ridgeline. All right, Pop. Well, I tried to be friendly. I tried. I did my best. But unfortunately, you've pushed my hand. I wish things could have been different. And he backs off into the tree line.
Why is he just addressing Pup?
Guys, I told you we're best friends.
But how did
I
he
didn't
know
think
that
I hurt
you...
his feelings.
How did
Pup,
he know
I don't
that
think
you
he's a
did
real
this?
friend. He's trying to take advantage of you right now.
Yeah, how does he know that it's Pup and us? Like, we met him once, but we never said we were going to hunt them. Like, why would he just... So he must be
He's
able to
watching
see
us.
something.
Not
Yeah,
not
that guy's the one that
necessarily. If
follows.
he's actually if he's the leader of the guild and is working for the Empress, he's undoubtedly paying people within that fortress to give him as much information as possible.
Yeah.
So he knows
Yeah.
Also, you
we have a
spoke with
writ.
spy.
We know that we took someone from there, right?
Yeah.
We have to
Right, it
assume that
just
everything we do is known.
didn't sound like
Spoke to
he
the
was.
spy, but we never said our names.
We may
Yeah,
have.
but I'm sure he described a young fellow with, you know,
You did introduce
wolf-like
yourself
ears.
to
I
him
think we
I
did
never said
introduce
pup.
ourselves.
as you
I
helped
think
them.
Oh, I didn't.
I
Oh,
did
I
for
thought
I
you
sure.
very specifically didn't. I only asked him his name.
Oh. All right.
So
well,
imagine him saying Cornelia the whole time.
Because he was like, "Who are you?" And I was like, "Well, who are you?"
Well, I mean, I thought you introduced yourself, but either way, he's still saying pup. Even if you didn't say his name.
Ooh.
All right, what's the plan, gang? So
What? But
we're gonna
I'm
stake out here for a while more. Or?
Yeah, we're waiting here for a bit at least, and then we're gonna take
Alright.
a different
You guys
route
hear
back.
another whistling sound, much lower this time, as all around you in the ridgeline, you just hear thuds as missiles are just showered into your general direction. And none of them hit any of you, but some of them are very close.
Hey,
And you see a series of bolts just kind
Dresden,
of glittering
holding?
the general
No
Or-
one
area.
move. No one move. They're just trying to flush us out. Get behind a trunk. Get behind shelter.
Yeah.
Are they all coming from the same rough direction?
They all coming from about where he had gone into the ridgeline.
Yeah.
Alright.
Everyone take cover.
Everyone
If you got a
take
shield,
cover.
get it out.
Try not to. No, actually, unless it's
Nope.
wood. If
It
your
is wood.
shield's metal, it'll ring like a bell.
I
and
start
I'm just gonna
covering
get
myself.
behind a tree.
I'm covered in armor. I'll try and hide behind
Yeah,
a
so am
tree
I.
too.
No, am I just?
You guys know
giddy
how
up.
to ring
Think
like
thin.
bells.
I'll follow
Think
Dresden's
thin.
lead.
Think thin.
Thick, thin.
I'm
Oh
behind
my
Dresden. Hey,
Careful, he
We
might
can-
fart on you. That's what he does when you go behind him.
I turn into Cornelia. I was trying to get as small as possible.
Okay.
I'll target right.
A second volley comes from a slightly different angle.
hey guys, do you think we should make the same noise as the bracer, the bolt that came out of the thing in a different location?
I can also make a dark circle
I don't
somewhere
know
else.
if we can make it far enough away.
As you guys are talking about that, a second volley from a different area comes. Rezik, one of these bolts stabs you straight in the leg. Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Don't make a noise.
All right.
Don't make a
So,
noise.
ducked behind a tree. I get shot anyway. All right, cool. Okay, let's see.
Can I? The Constitution
Am I
saving.
rolling for
Can
what again?
I?
What is it?
Wait, if I'm
Constitution
like paying
saving throw.
attention to where things are coming from, can I catch it? Because I'm looking around everywhere.
Well, you'd have to be next to Rezik. to Do
Are
that.
we all not all together?
I'm behind a tree.
Well, I thought you guys had
Yeah,
all
I think
kind
we
of
spread
ducked
out behind
different
trees.
Oh, did we spread
Yeah.
out?
I think we just had to get cover.
Rezik, what'd you roll?
Alright.
Rolled a 6.
Um,
6.
Yeah.
Rezik.
can I cast
Bobby, I
thought
something
cover
as
would
I
help,
see
but
him get
guess not.
hit?
Bobby, you take 4 points of damage as this arrow
All right.
hits you right in the leg, and it's impossible. It just hurts so bad, and you don't scream out or anything, but you definitely make an audible grunt.
Wait, but
Actually, well,
do I
can
have
I
the ability
try to roll
to?
not to make an audible grunt? Because I actually was trained.
You
in
just
commission
did,
to-
motherfucker.
That was your Constitution saving throw.
That was your
That
con
was the
save.
Constitution saving
Yeah.
throw.
All right.
I'd like.
I'm just saying I was trained in the commission. I was trained in the commission to be a war. I was trained in the commission to be a warcaster who, even when I'm hit, I'm able to hold my concentration. That's one of my advantages I have.
Okay.
Just saying.
I've got questions. We're in a dense forest and we're having projectiles shot at us. So they're either coming directly at us or they're coming from above and they're falling. There's no other options. So which direction are they coming? Are they falling on us, or are they being shot at
seem
us?
to
If
be-
they
they
shot
seem
at
to be-
us, there's a line of sight.
It seems to be that they're shooting up into the air and then raining these
Yeah.
things down on your
Oh
location.
boy, what luck.
And
I
through
have a
the
question.
trees?
Yeah, through the trees. Amazing. That'd be an
And
amazing
it's-
shot. It'd be a 1 in a
it's
million
not-
shot.
And it's
I don't
not
think
a
these
few.
trees are as dense
It's-
as you guys think.
You're,
I
you
mean,
guys
any
are-
coverage above you, like,
it's a
it's a tree, right?
It's a rain
Is it a deciduous forest?
of these bolts that are coming down on you. It's not like one or two or even a dozen. It's a few dozen bolts with each volley.
Okay.
We
There's
should
a lot
crawl
of them out
away.
there.
I have a question.
It goes silent again. Yes, Maeve.
Is it possible that I don't know if like the timing fast enough for like me to see him get hit and cast something before he yells, or no?
Roll a dexterity saving throw.
Can any of us turn into an animal?
17.
Animal.
A 17. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see it. It
Uh-huh.
hits him, and
Uh-huh.
that second before Rezik's mind
Registers it.
really registers that there's an arrow sticking out of his leg.
Uh-huh.
You see that.
Okay,
What are you
I'd
doing?
like to quickly cast command and go quiet.
Okay. So you cast command, and you what's the saving throw?
Wisdom 13.
Okay, Rezik, roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Use your Bobby dice.
15.
Why the hell?
So the same thing happens.
But though it doesn't take purchase fully, the spell does help a little bit
Okay.
as you try and stifle a scream. It's not a full-blown scream, but it is a I've just been shot by an arrow.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I've just been shot by an arrow.
Everyone, the arrows are coming from above. Stay under branches. They shouldn't be able to hit you.
And it's quiet for a very long time. You don't hear any movement, you don't hear anything. For maybe 10 minutes pass, 15
Are you
minutes
sure?
pass.
Can I like hold my ear to the ground? There's no people. There's
perception.
no walking.
Roll a perception.
19.
19. You don't hear anything.
Yeah. That's gonna be your answer no
Maybe
matter what.
20 minutes pass. And nearly a half hour passes as you guys just lay on the ground, barely breathing. And you still don't hear anything.
I'm taking a nap.
Considered a short rest.
Yeah, I'm taking a nap.
It's not super restful. It's more stressful than restful.
A short stress.
Short stressed.
I do those all the time.
Daily, really.
Multiple times a day.
So we can't wait for like the sun to go down. It's always just
Always dark.
that
It's always
like
night.
twilight-ish night.
Yeah. It's it's brighter than a twilight would be, just because the moon itself here
Yeah.
is
Okay.
4 or 5 times brighter.
You want me to go see if they're still there?
I think they are still there. They
I
definitely
think they're
heard
waiting
us.
for us.
They're waiting for us. So we have an option. We either get out while they're still waiting, slip through their lines, or we wait for them to come, and then we fight them. But it looks like there's way more of them. I don't want to fight them if we can avoid it. I'm thinking
should
maybe we
set
try and make
traps.
our way up and over the ridge.
Okay.
Listen, Dresden, I appreciate we're trying to be as careful as possible, but I think we have a mission here. We have to save Trust. We have to get to the Empress. Let's just take these fuckers on. Let's sneak up to them,
Did you
take them
see
on.
How
We can
many
do some
bolts
damage.
came out? How many How many
Isaac,
would I
who are you?
estimate looking around at like the
looking at
volleys coming
arrows just
We've burned
around
him.
you.
Yeah.
What are we gonna do? We're gonna
Just
we're gonna
looking
hide
from
out.
the
Three,
volley.
All
three or
night?
4 dozen.
Yeah. 3 or 4 dozen men. We're not fighting 3 or 4 dozen men.
I
It's
think we
just not
can.
possible.
We can do some serious damage as a group.
It would need to be a very particular circumstance. We would have to probably bottleneck them somewhere, perhaps in a canyon, and we
Yeah,
couldn't take
we're
them
not-
on in open.
We're not taking
in open
them
air.
head on.
No.
Pup?
It's just not possible. Pup, what?
Have we considered
No
that
string.
maybe they know that it's
And that-
us?
Echoes throughout the canyon. I'm just kidding.
No.
Have we considered that maybe they know that it's us because the queen told him that it's us, and really she's trying to get us killed for coming out
I
here and
was-
taking care of him?
I was thinking that just now.
It didn't.
Actually.
It didn't sound. Being in the
She
commission,
sent him-
I've heard that tone before, where they're like, "Good job. I'm going to tell them what you did," and they take all the credit for what you just did. So I
No,
think they're
Pup-
going to do that.
No, pup means the Empress said.
No, I understand that. I'm saying I think
kill
that I
them.
agree with Dresden, where it's they want to get credit for this kill. For the
Doesn't
Guardian.
really matter.
Right,
It's our
it can
situation
be
right
both,
now.
though. It can be both
Right.
of the
I don't think it
things.
is both, but
I don't
sure.
think it matters. In all
Yeah.
honesty, for right now.
Yeah,
We're in a
agreed.
shit situation we
I'm
need to
just
get
saying,
out of. We can
If we
find out
sneak our way
later.
back, we also need to watch our backs for the queen.
I
We need to
agree.
do that either way. We needed to do that when we came back before all this shit happened.
Right, but it just is adding more layers. Okay, we can add more layers to beware of.
This is like an onion right now, you guys.
Or a
Bad
parfait.
onion.
I really love a parfait.
Or a cake.
Yeah, those have layers. Or the earth.
Listen, I'm just saying, Dresden, I can do some serious damage with some spells if we get them in the right location at the right time. If we sneak up on them.
And if we get them in the wrong location, in the wrong time, we're all dead.
All right.
We can
Look,
sneak
they've
up
got
on one.
range on us, all right? Before
We
we
can
even get
do, like-
close, I can't do anything from far away. Half of us can't do anything from far away, and they've got 4 dozen crossbows or longbows.
We have Pup who has
We
a
need to get
silent,
out
or
of
like
here.
has a stealthy spell we can use and sneak up on
Yeah,
them.
and I think we get the hell out of here with that.
All right. I'm
I
just
mean,
saying
I'm not-
we're gonna have to fight them at some point, either today or tomorrow. I don't know. We can't
I
just
don't
hide in there
think
forever.
that they would try and fight us in the city. I don't think they would do that.
I also don't want to fight them when it's those guys that have been tracking us. All right? If we fight them, it's when we've been following them. But can you make us silent, stealthy?
Yep.
All right. We need to get out of here. All right?
Dresden, sorry, I know I'm being
What?
an ass right now, but just one
I
last
know you
thing.
are.
I'm just worried that if we don't act and we get to the Empress, we may not get trust back. And I mean, we can't not get it back, right? We have to.
Buddy, look at me. We might not get out of this canyon. All right? Look at me. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Trust, I want to bring her back as much as you. But we might be dead, okay? They might be coming up the sides of this thing as we speak. They might be above us for all we know. If they're above us, we're fucking dead. So we need to get out of
Yeah,
here
but
now.
if they get back to the city before us, we're also screwed. 'Cause
No.
They can tell the Empress we got the Guardian, and then we can't get into the city.
Wonderful.
know that.
And then we send word to the Empress. You want the Guardian? Come to us. We still have options that way. We don't have options if we're fucking dead.
All right, I'm just saying it's good to be cautious, but we
Great.
fought a giant
Good
monster
saying.
and did the
Let's
same
go.
thing, and we're
Pup.
cautious and trust died. So, all right, fine, let's go. All right.
Better to be in charge of our own moves, not have our hand forced. I agree with Dresden. I think it's right. This is the right decision for now. We can always come back later. And we will.
This is my fault.
Mom and Dad
No.
are fighting.
No. It's no one's fault.
Fine.
Just make
Fighting.
us quiet now.
Okay.
Thank you, pup. This is my favorite part.
Kelwise. You're looking around.
Mhm.
And you're all hiding.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice everyone very stressed out. But you notice Tomo in the back, sitting up against a tree, back up. And he does not look like he's ready to move or go anywhere. He looks just not scared, but distraught. And you see that as you're all talking.
Oh, wander over to him. Hey, what's up?
Oh, you guys gotta go. You gotta go.
Yeah, that's the
You gotta
plan.
go now. You gotta go now.
That's what we're doing. You got to come with us. Yeah,
Well,
come on, let's go.
I'm sorry, Kellwise. I'm sorry. I really liked you guys.
Guys, we got to go now. Now.
Gotta
Let's
go.
go now.
Let's go.
And you see in his eyes this almost
In Tomo.
crazed expression as Tomo starts running down the hills waving his arms. They're over here! They're over here, Master Marks! They're over
Well,
here!
I was going to send him to be our messenger, but he's already done that for us, so let's go.
And as he starts to run down, waving
Is
his arms,
does he have to run by me?
an arrow hits
They
him
did it
right in
for
the
me.
head. And he just falls over. You see 3 or 4 crests pop out. And Tomo's gone.
All right, that plays our hand. Up to the rocks. Let's go.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Everyone gets plus 10
You
stealth.
happy, Riz? You're gonna get your fight after all.
Everybody roll an athletics.
No.
Try and climb this
We're trying to do this stealthily also, though, right? So, like, can we also roll stealth?
Yes, you can, but at some point the tree line basically provides no cover. You're kind of walking up this open-faced ridge.
Athletics 8 plus 4 is 12.
I got 15.
Oh, athletics? Oh, I did a good job. Well, it's still 7.
no!
It's still 7.
21.
I did roll
21.
a natural 1, by the way. So
And Cornelia finds it hard, especially because of what happened to her leg with the creature outside. But Kellwise, you managed to kind of make up for Cornelia's, and you kind of drag her up, and you guys start to climb up this cliff face, and there's like a big ridge over which you can
You have
stop.
one working leg. Come on.
And as you guys start running up, an 8 with athletics.
I think I'm bringing up
Way
the rear.
down. It's too way down, buddy.
Dresden, you're bringing up the rear, and another volley of arrows
I'm just
come
going to tell him, we need to sell that armor
flying
of
at all
yours.
of you.
Shield out at this point. Fuck.
Yeah, same.
Shield out. Okay.
Shield in and boomstick out.
You guys are running up this ridge, and a wave of arrows come. You all manage to dodge, with the exception of Maeve. Maeve, you're struck by an arrow in your back.
I have armor.
And you take 3 points of piercing damage as it hits right in between one of the plates in your
Ow.
armor.
Okay.
And you guys manage to move all the way up and over the ridge. And the forest kind of goes silent again. Dresden, you're looking around this ridge, and it's a big platform, but you notice that there's a cave kind of dipping down and into the mountain, this open face, and there are some sizable rocks up on this ridge, big pieces of the mountain that have just fallen down or wilted away, and there's actually a pretty hefty amount of big rocks up here.
Big that we'd be able to move them together. Big that we'd.
It would
be
probably
able
take
to,
2 or
we'd need,
3 of
like-
you to move, and it would take probably 2 or 3 very strong individuals to move these rocks.
Okay. All right. How in the open were we all when we made it up here? Like, they could probably see that last bit when we went up, right?
As you were basically going up the last
We were just in the
25 feet,
open.
were pretty much it was pretty much 1 or 2 trees,
Okay.
and it was like an open face.
That
So it's
means
safe
they're
to
in the
assume-
open too.
Yeah. No, good. I just wanted to make sure they saw us. Guys, I think this is it. This is where we make the stand. All right. I think we get a couple of people on those rocks. I think we get as boulders as big as you can hurl and start piling them up on the edge here. All right. We're not going to have long. If they're moving quick. Yeah.
Escape route is in the cave. In case we need to fall back.
How wide is the entrance to the cave?
It's a pretty big, maybe 20 feet wide and another 10, 15 feet tall. And it's just pitch dark in there. You can't really see.
While
where
we're
it leads or
prepping,
what's
go look inside. Go see what's in
Okay.
there.
I'll light up a torch and I'll go check out the cave.
You light up the torch and you start heading into the cave. Maeve, what are you doing?
I want to confer with Cornelia to see if we could maybe both cast sleep at the same time as soon as we start seeing people, to try and fell a few as soon as they come over. And also, I would like to offer Cornelia, maybe I can cast Sanctuary on you when we see them, because I do not want you getting maimed further.
Thank you. Yes, I'm like.
Just the ball.
So many
Janky little gnome.
Thank you, babe.
Now that we're on the ridge, what else is on the other side of the ridge? Is it more forest? Does the forest go on forever? Does the landscape change? Like, this is the highest point we've been so far.
Yeah, you look across and you can kind of see that other valley mountain across. And you see this valley kind of dip down, and way up north you can kind of see where Hojo, up on that cliff and the little switchbacks that you could climb up to get to Hojo, and that lake, that giant lake that was beneath. You can see the light of the moon shimmering off of that, but other than that, it just seems to be this long ravine that heads south indefinitely. It just doesn't end.
How steep is the drop off?
It drops it's a pretty steep gradient right at the end. It seems like you guys had kind of run and it was like almost the like 15 to 20 degrees at the very end. It was very, very, very steep. Or I guess it would be like
The exact opposite of that.
Yeah. It would be like a
45.
75%. Yeah, 75.
Yeah. Okay. So it was
Yeah.
we were scrambling up.
Yeah, you kind of had to run at the last second, really just kind of push and jump yourself up to that last little bit and pull
A
yourself.
warped wall. Okay.
Is the cave in a on the other side of the ridge or on the same side?
So you have this ridge. You guys are kind of just in this thing. The mountain itself extends up more and more and more. You guys had just found this like, kind of this ridge on the first part, and then there was like a second. There's the mountains kind of built on top of each other and continue up behind you.
Okay.
You hit this top of this ridge, and there's a cave that kind of dips down into the backside, and there's just this big flat portion on the top part of the ridge of the mountain you're in at right now.
So I'm just going to tell the group, like, maybe there's still a way that we can just take one out or a few out at a time, because we could go in the cave and sort of cover the cave with an illusion. And if they're searching for us, if they wander in that it's an illusion, I mean, maybe we can take a couple out or just
I think with
face
4
them.
dozen men, I don't think that works.
Just face
what I
them.
mean?
You just want to face them.
I think we try and
we
do
have
as
the high
much
ground.
damage and then retreat again, do as much damage and retreat again. And we just keep using the high ground to our advantage. If we put ourselves in a cave,
Then
other
we're
than
stuck. There,
we've
yeah.
gotten
Only one
rid-
way in or out.
exactly. There's exactly.
All right.
What's it looking like out there? And what's it looking like in that cave?
Yeah, what's the cave look like? What'd I find?
Yes, Master Dresden is what I'm going to say while I go look at the cave.
Oh.
You walk into this cave, and it opens up, and it starts to wind very, very deeply down it's pretty steep to the point where you almost see like there's platforms where you'd have to like rope off and kind of propel yourself down to platforms. It drops pretty fast, but you do notice it's very, there's like a moisture in the air here.
Do I notice any light coming from inside the cave where maybe there's another exit or something?
There doesn't seem to be any light other than your torch.
And do I hear dripping or anything, or is it just damp?
You don't hear any dripping. You don't hear any rushing water from inside the cave. It just seems to have almost like a misty quality coming up from it.
Yeah, after I think a quick look around and assessing that it's hard to climb down, and I don't have a rope on me, I would probably go back up and tell everyone, like, hey, damp cave. It's probably not a great exit, but we could get lost in there, and that might be to our advantage if we really, really, really needed to, but we would need some ropes. We'd have to climb.
I've got ropes.
It's going to be treacherous.
Are there any of the rocks near enough that we might be able to push to just sort of like cover that, just like lodge like firmly into the mouth of the cave? Nothing that big, anything that big?
Nothing that big. The cave opening is pretty large. A rock of that size would be impossible to move, I think.
Yeah. It doesn't winnow down though as it goes in. Nothing.
There are a few spots that it does. You'd have to, though not till farther down. So you'd have to either push and run, like.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
but that would trap us in too.
Yeah, I know.
There are a few spots where that's possible. You'd have to just kind of get it up on the ridge, push, and then book it. And you could you can indefinitely basically it would take probably hours, especially if they didn't have the right gear. There would be no way to kind of unlodge that rock from once it's lodged in there.
All right, well maybe that's the ultimate escape plan. All right, let's line up.
As to what?
Look for eyes out. What?
What's the ultimate escape plan? Just so I can follow. Sorry.
If things go to absolute shit, we seal ourselves in there and work our way down and out. If there's water, it has to go somewhere.
Sure.
How do we get a boulder to cover us from the inside?
We push it and then we run.
And run faster than it.
Really fast.
Okay.
I mean, we don't really know if there's any way out of there, though, is the problem. Well, I guess you said there's water, but, I mean, it's a risk.
It is a risk.
All of it is a
Man,
risk. We
if
are
Trust
fighting
was
for our
awake-
lives.
Trust could do thunder wave.
No, I get
Man.
that. I'm just saying...
Wake up, Trust! I'm gonna yell at
Everyone-
her face.
Eyes out. Is there anything?
Yeah, have we
Yeah,
seen
it's
anyone
good.
coming?
The forest is eerily quiet, and you don't see any figures. They've kept themselves very, very well hidden.
Have the rest of us been stacking? We've been stacking rocks, roughly
I
like
assume you
that
guys
big.
have been pushing,
Yeah.
massive,
Just sort of as
massive
big as
rocks.
we can, just getting them right to the edge, right to the ledge, just so you can
and
just
you can
kinda
get maybe
shove 'em
like
over.
4 massive rocks up to the edge, within earshot, and then everything else is kind of.
I want to make sure that I'm
Small.
looking around too, listening behind us and
Like
the side of us
side.
while all this is
okay.
happening.
Cornelia,
Uh,
roll me a perception check. And Rezik, what's up?
17.
Good.
17.
I was waiting for
Every
Rezik.
once in a
Man,
while,
the
Cornelia.
Antissa.
Every once in a while, Cornelia, you see what could just be your mind playing tricks on you, but you see just the tiniest hints of people moving, or just kind of like cloaks fluttering behind trees and such.
If I see
From
that,
down-
I want to like toss a rock that direction. Pew, pew.
And they're pretty far away. They're maybe 100 feet away, 150 feet. You just kind of see them every once in a while littering the forest beneath you.
From behind us or just in front of us?
Just down into the valley.
Okay.
Forested valley.
If our strategy is to head into that cave, by the way, should we try to set up a rope in there so we can? Because you're saying there are different areas to go, different platforms. Should we try to set up a way to get from one side to the other, and then that way we have it ready to go, and then we can all cross and cut it off before they're able to follow us. Or
that's the whole point of the rock.
At the rock, yeah.
Yeah.
And I can take care of making an avalanche in the tunnel with a spell as well, if that's helpful.
Good. Fantastic. Wait, you can make an avalanche?
Yeah, I could just shoot, like a really heavy duty spell and make some rock crumble and hopefully.
What have you been waiting for?
Can you do that to all of them?
Well, yeah, I told you I could. Yes, I could make massive damage. I've used Firebolt in front of you before, and other.
Firebolt's not an avalanche.
It can be when hit against a massive amount of rock on a mountain, but yes, I can.
Does there look like a place that if he hit it with like a fireball or something, it might release a whole fuck ton of shale or something like that?
Roll me an investigation.
Fucking fuck.
Maybe if that's happening, Kelwise can channel all the water in the ground, and there could be like a mudslide going on or something.
And I can make like a thunderstorm.
You need to use that moisture.
A 12.
Again, we're all really powerful. We can do a lot of crazy things.
You see one spot to the left and one spot to the right, and you're not sure, but they're definitely potential spots. You just don't know the effect a fireball would have.
Super dude.
But it's a definite possibility.
Okay.
Now I'm smelling burning.
Burnt toast?
Maybe.
You good?
Hold on one
Do you
second.
feel your left arm?
Go get that checked out.
I mean, if the fire alarms aren't going off, it's probably
No,
all right.
We're good.
Can we
We're good.
untangle
We're
my headphones from MJ so that I can listen?
I love when the kitties say hello to each other.
So Dresden, you see two spots where there's you could see a large disruption could send a large portion of the mountain tumbling down, but it would have to be hit hard enough. Hard to tell though.
Right. Great. Okay. How many of those you got in you?
I got 2 of those in me.
Good. All right. Keep them close. Do you see anything? Are they still approaching?
Yeah, I see a bunch of shadows moving down there.
Did you get a sense of how many there were?
Well, there's a lot, but maybe it's just my paranoia. I just keep seeing tons of shadows. There's a lot of them.
All right.
Mm.
Can I look for threads? Do I see any at all?
Oh, that's smart.
You don't see any threads.
Oh,
in
that
this
sucks.
place.
That's bad. I want to take my couple rope traps and just sort of set up a couple traps too, in the event someone were to come over the edge of the precipice.
Yeah. So you set up some rope traps, and you hear it calling off from down, way down in the tree line. Lost chance. Just give me the guardian. That's all we want. Hell, we'll even give exclusive deals to Cornelia Co. Magical items you could never dream of. Gold. Exclusivity.
Never.
Fame.
I never told them
It's
our
all yours.
name.
Mm. I mean, I'm not surprised they know more about us
Larry
than we would
something.
think.
What the heck? We never told them our name.
We
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah, we didn't.
Because know who we are. I didn't
We told
either.
plenty of people about Cornelia Co.
We're
Alright.
getting around, guys.
Who?
Do we want to
A
tell
name for
them?
ourselves.
I mean, we could tell him the Guardian's dead.
Yeah.
No. Don't tell him that. Don't tell him that.
Okay. Okay.
No. That doesn't help us at all. As long as they think they need him, they have to go a little more kid gloves on us.
Hmm.
Well, if you want him, come on up.
It's like a Western
I'll be
right now.
right there.
Oh, shit.
And that is where we're gonna take our first break.
Oh,
No, we're here, Dresden.
Oh man.
We're gonna be right here.
I love
We're
it.
hidden.
Yeah. Hold. Get him. Literally the whole time. Shut up. No, stay. Over here.
Thank you,
Go
everyone,
F
for
yourself,
hanging
Russian
out.
warship.
We're gonna go on a quick 15-minute break. More.
Hey.
Gotta write this down.
Prepare to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's changing the music.
Here.
Just like
Murder music.
What do I want to kill them
Murder
to?
music.
Let's see.
music.
100 people walk out of the forest. Sorry, I shouldn't give him ideas.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Seriously.
10,000. No.
1 million.
You hear that call from Marks, and it goes
Like that?
silent again for another 10 minutes or so. As you hear chopping, something echoes, and you see a tree
Above
fall
us or below us? Okay.
below you. 5 minutes later,
Oh no, this could be some Monty Python stuff.
another tree falls down in the forest, and you see them clearing out a little pathway about 250 feet away.
They're bringing something through the forest that normally wouldn't go through a forest, and that does not bode well.
No.
Like
And
a
you
ballista or
Should I make the
something.
terrain more difficult for them? Or
Yes. Yeah. Can you like make trees grow really fast, or light the ground on fire, perhaps? Or
I could do that. I don't want to burn the forest if possible. I have
no,
yeah, but I
wait! Don't throw that idea out. You might want to light the forest on fire.
I agree. It sounds like a very good plan.
It's actually a really great plan, I think.
Well, the forest is
All right,
very
if you want.
moist, guys. It's probably not going
you
to
guys
burn
have lived in
easily.
California too long.
Yeah, it's really wet here.
I was gonna
so-
turn
No
it
one
into a
sneezed,
thunder-
the forest could explode in flames.
I
That
was
lived
gonna
in
turn
the
the
forest.
That's
fireball
all I
into a.
know.
I was gonna turn the fireball into a thunderball, and that would hopefully make a lot of big rocks and stuff fall down on them. But I can do fire. But it's up to the team.
I don't think we do anything yet. Until we've got shots on them, there's no point. Let them tire themselves out working through that forest.
Can we
That's my opinion.
I mean, all right.
can we
I mean, keep
spot
stacking rocks
the
then.
guild master?
Tell me what the benefit of doing something now is.
Well, they're gonna prepare to
You-
do some things. We probably should stop them from doing it, but we can wait.
We've got the high ground.
Cannot see Marks. It's kind of impossible to tell any details in the
But we can
forest.
hear
Most-
him. How far away does he sound?
Well, he sounded pretty close, like to the ridgeline of the forest, but since
But we
it's been
can't
some
see
time-
him or okay.
No. Everyone was staying pretty well concealed in the forest. Another few trees drop down,
All right,
and
so
you hear something, kind of a rumbling sound, and this
Hopefully,
red
whatever.
light starts to shoot up into the sky, and this shockwave kind of explodes from the ground. And sitting there, you see from nowhere, it seems this siege weapon, this double speared ballista with 2 massive javelins, maybe twice the size of the one in your boat, pops up around 250 feet away.
Rezik, light that on fire.
Is it wooden? Yeah.
Yeah. It's made of wood, right?
It is made of wood.
Yeah.
That's
the
you
target.
should light that on
That's
fire.
the one.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
That looks flammable.
All right.
How much cover do we have?
I mean, you have cover from direct fire, but above you, there's basically nothing.
Okay. Does it look like they might be able to, like, you know, mortar us?
Yes.
Does that seem like a thing a possibility?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely. The only way, really. I mean, they already rained arrows down on you twice. It seems probable that they would just do another series of, you know.
Yeah, I'm not
random
worried
arrows.
about arrows so much. I'm worried about those giant fire. Does it look like that might be able to do that with the ballista?
Well, it doesn't look like it's a weapon necessarily that can. I mean, it would be hard to angle it up and then down again. It would be weird. But these things look humongous to the point where they could take out giant chunks of a mountain at once.
Yeah, that sounds great. As long as that mountain then falls back on them.
Which presumably it would.
And then you said behind us, there's not just a ridge going down. There's
Well, there,
cliffside.
you're on
We
this
would have
ridge of this mountain, and then it kind of dips down a little bit into
It does
another,
dip down.
like a very small valley, and then it comes back up again with another much taller mountain behind it.
Okay.
And in one of those little nooks in this valley is that cave entrance. That's maybe 50 feet away.
Okay, guys. So it looks like we've got a couple options. They've got some serious firepower down there, but it might bring the mountain down on them. Do we want to try and shelter in the cave, or lure them out to shoot that, or do we want to go on the offensive? What do you all think?
I mean, now seeing that, I'm okay with the cave and just trying to find another path. This is a lot. They have a giant weapon now.
I mean, if they're behind us, can we just run away faster than them? They can't just pull that javelin close, that quickly. We
It's not
can.
like they can. Yeah, exactly.
If it's stuck there, can we run farther, run around them? I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's not like they're tied to that thing. They can chase us on foot if we come down the mountain.
You
If
guys had
anything,
noticed-
we would
you guys
travel
had
across
noticed
the
that
ridgeline.
It wasn't like they dragged it there. It seems to have just
Yeah, they got portals.
appeared.
Which to me means they've got the Empress on their side. Right?
Right.
That's
yeah.
how she
So
appeared.
why
And
don't?
to
No,
What
she appeared
about?
to me.
trail? Yeah.
What about Rezik trying to set it on fire and take it out of commission, and then us going into the cave and blocking it, whether it
Sure.
works or not? I think we should at least attempt to set it on fire.
Yeah,
I
I think
agree.
we at least do something. But I do think maybe going into that cave is our best option. It also, maybe maybe you save one of those fireballs to make it look like there's a cave in or something, because we gain the advantage if they think we're dead.
Sure, and I can do massive damage with other spells as well. But whatever
What do
you
you
want
got?
me to use, I'll use.
What do you got?
I have a chromatic orb. I can do at a pretty high level and do some massive damage with that as well. It can be thunder damage, cause a cave in, whatever you want.
I mean,
Are they-
caves don't necessarily always have an out. How are we gonna get out if there's a cave in? I mean, we could suffocate. Like we could run out of air, but it'll take a while.
Well,
of
it
course,
seemed
but-
it seemed big enough that I don't think air would be a problem.
I don't necessarily think we should cave it in more, but
No. I'm just saying if we kind of disrupted some rocks higher up to sort of obscure the cave a little more.
I mean, either
Sure.
that or I can make an illusion to make it seem like there is no cave at all. And we can
Yeah, I just think it would go after a while, right?
after about 10 minutes, yeah.
Yeah,
And the Empress might be able to see through that.
yeah, and it's gonna take them minutes to get up here either way.
You guys
What are
hear
they
the
doing down there?
sound off
Oh, there
in the
we go.
distance. And you hear another
Grace.
as you see that double barreled ballista that was on this like turret. It seems like someone kind of cranks it up and then lets one fly, and you see this big steel chain on the back of this missile as it comes straight towards the mountain ridge that you guys are at.
Oh, there's a chain on it.
It hits the mountainside, and you guys just feel the entire ground explode beneath you. Everybody roll a dexterity saving throw.
Aye.
Oh my goodness gracious!
We were not standing in the path of the fallen trees, by the way.
Next save.
Hopefully.
Jesus.
Woo!
22.
7!
14.
18.
14, 7.
I fucking
What'd you get, Rez?
cannot roll tonight.
16.
16, a 5.
Both.
It's not that they're hitting you directly, they're just nailing the ridge right under where you guys are standing. The ground
shell
starts to
is
give away,
swinging.
and you hear this crank
Back
starts,
up.
the chain goes taut. And this cranking sound as the missile starts to drag a giant chunk of the mountainside down the cliff. Maeve and Dresden, you both take damage, bludgeoning damage, as you fall to the ground and debris smashes against you. You both
What
take
is the point of my armor?
you both take 3 bludgeoning damage. That was pretty lucky. You both take 3 bludgeoning damage as you fall to the ground, and a giant chunk, and one of those boulders you guys had kind of set up on the edge goes flying down and into the tree line. And Cornelia and anyone else with dark vision, you can see in the trees people like diving out of the way of this rolling boulder. The missile hits the ground with a giant chunk of the mountain in it, and it just starts. You hear this off the distance.
I help Dresden off the ground. And I dust him off and I say, time to go.
Now, before we give him a little something, and I kick one of the rocks down, and
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Likewise.
Let's see.
I'm gonna cast Sanctuary on Cornelia.
Okay, you cast Sanctuary.
as promised,
Dresden,
Promise.
the rock goes barreling down this mountain ridge, and it hits the tree line, and it just keeps on going because it's got just so much density to it. And you start to hear people screaming and a general commotion as people are diving out of the way, and you can't really see the destruction that you've caused, but it knocks over a few trees, and you hear a few people, and that it's that familiar scream of somebody who's just their body has been mangled in a way that it'll never be the same. And you can hear that screaming from beneath, and at the same time.
I same. We're pushing.
Yeah, I'll help.
All right.
Can I
And
if you
use my staff to like wedge under it, like something real heavy and get multiple?
Fulcrum.
Nice.
Yeah. So you guys
And then
launched. You had set up 4. One of them was taken out by that ballista. Dresden had knocked over 1. So you guys push over the other 2. Okay. All right.
And were the people heavily? You said I noticed people. Were they armored up in regular clothes? Did they look like they had a lot of weapons?
Most of the people you can see, it's just a series of cloaks. You can assume they were dressed very similar to Dom.
Okay.
It seems like they're dressed to traverse this forest very quickly and stealthily. 2 more rocks go screaming down the ridge, and you can kind of see people have been fleeing away from the tree line pretty quickly, especially after Dresden's first rock. But they hit the tree line, and you hear a few more screams of just terror and anger as a second bolt of that giant siege engine flies right at you guys.
Dresden, you might want to light it up.
While that was happening, I was going to cast Fireball as well. While that's all the rocks are going down.
You're gonna cast Fireball on the trees?
On the ballista.
How far
Or
can you
not?
shoot
Not
fireball?
Oh, yeah. Well, it'll be 150 feet away. So, oof. Because they're
The
how
siege
far away?
engines- The siege engine's about 200 to 250. It was
With the
back
chain,
pretty
a
far.
250-foot chain?
Chain.
Mhm.
And
And
Boy.
That's
in the
our
glow,
long
Cornelia, you can see the chain glowing.
chains.
It's pristine. There isn't a nick on the metal itself, and the chain itself is like this light blue color. It's unlike any material you've ever seen. You've seen a lot of different metals, especially in the jewelry
unobtainium.
business. Something. It's something, and it's shining brightly off this moonlight. And it seems to be just pulling this
Avatar?
away.
Well, let me ask you this, James. Are there trees 150 feet away, or is it all just like rock and up until the ballista?
Oh no. There's a forest about 50 feet below you is where the kind of forest line starts,
Okay.
and then there's trees all over the place.
Yeah,
There.
fire
Okay.
runs uphill though.
Okay. So should I do like the thunderball instead to just cause an avalanche, or should I do the
Just,
fireball?
yeah, make it biggest avalanche you can.
Okay.
Right
So,
above
yeah, I'm
them,
gonna
wherever
go
they
ahead.
are.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say Incento Maximo, and I'm gonna snap my finger, and then a little globule of fire starts it off. But I bring in a little bit of sulfur, and I start wrapping my hands around it, and making the ball bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm gonna ask Eva for help to make it into a thunderball instead of a fireball, and then launch it off.
Okay, Eva does that. Passes her magic check and a thunderbolt. Where are you shooting the thunderball at? The tree line?
Yeah, I guess the tree line right wherever I can, kind of in front of where a good amount of people in the ballista are, to try to like get an avalanche that will hit as many people as possible.
Okay, so you shoot this thunderball into the forest, and it kind of explodes out. And you guys see the trees in this area instantly barren, if not just uprooted and thrown all around. And you guys hear this massive, massive sonic boom, and you see people, bodies, trees, dirt, viscera, all just kind of go flipping all over the place.
Wow. Rezik.
Some of the
Damn.
rocks in the area start to
Told you guys.
come loose and start rolling
Good
down.
damage.
None of them, and you guys are on the ridge line, so that the ground shakes a little bit beneath you. Is that some more giant rocks in the area just kind of start to break off, and pieces of the ridge start to come apart and roll down to the tree line, smashing more people. Just generally screams of kind of terror and confusion and warning erupt from the tree line. But that ballista off in the distance, and you can kind of see somebody aiming this thing, and you can kind of assume that's Marks just lining it up, and that second bolt comes shooting towards the ridgeline, hits right below where you guys are, tearing out another giant chunk of the mountain.
Question for the group: was the plan to do the rocks and that, and then run into the cave, or are we staying here to keep continuing to battle?
Run into the cave, I
I
thought.
think it was.
I
to
thought
do
it
that
was run
shit.
into the cave.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna run into the cave.
We may not
so you
have
guys
to
start running into
bother
the cave. Roll
Locking
another,
it.
roll
doing this.
another dexterity saving throw, as this whole ridge is now just kind of coming apart, especially where you're at.
Let's do better.
Dang it!
When we
nine.
went into the cave, did it look like the top was rock that would fall and crush us if it was?
I mean, like any cave, the ceiling made of stone.
Jesus.
I think
Come
if
down
we
at any time.
go in far back enough, though, it can't reach.
That's right.
What did
gonna love
everyone,
that
what did
cave.
Yes,
everyone
that
get?
is right.
14.
What do we roll?
14?
Dex Dave?
Rezik, you got a 9?
18.
Yeah, I got a 9.
18?
8.
A lot.
I cannot roll
A
tonight.
lot? Pup, what did you get?
24.
You're rolling like me.
No.
I'm rolling bad.
What'd you get?
This dice?
Pup.
14.
Okay.
That's
So,
not terrible.
It's not
Rezik, Dresden,
I rolled a 7 last
Dresden,
time.
you two take 10
double
points
that.
of bludgeoning damage as just rocks
Oof.
explode off the top and just start to pelt your bodies as you guys start to run into this cave. And as you guys start running towards this cave, you notice that with that second bolt, this cave is now coming apart. and it's starting to slide towards that cave opening. It looks like that cave is going to get totally caved in no matter what you do at this point. As you guys start running, and it's down this ridge, and you start sliding. Your feet just kind of giving way under this dirt. Everyone roll a dexterity, an acrobatics check. As you guys basically just start surfing down this rock side. And
What was
it's
it?
slick on both
20.
sides. Ooh,
Was it athletics?
Acro.
acrobatics.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
There we
a
go.
20.
7.
Cullen. 4.
16.
No! What dice do you have? Mail them to me so I can eat them.
Use the
Where's
same one.
Yeah.
What'd you
The
get?
chances.
How far are we from the entrance?
The entrance, you're about 50 feet away.
Can I Misty Step closer to it? 30 feet?
You can.
Yes,
Yeah, what'd you roll?
any of those other ones, please.
Oh, I still have to roll even if I go. Okay. Dang it.
Yeah, I mean, you
So what was it again? Sorry, was it athletics check?
acrobatics.
Acrobatics.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well that's an 8. I was trying to avoid a roll by like trying to like Misty
An 8.
Steps closer so I
No,
have to
I
like
mean,
make a roll.
you get way closer. I mean, the factor here is that there's an avalanche coming from behind you, so getting closer to the entrance faster, even if it does trip you up, goes. Steve also wakes up from a nap and rolls. He rolls pretty well. He's sliding down with you, and let's see what
How'd
Fitz
Fitz
does.
do?
He's just overwhelmed by this whole thing.
Fitz. You guys all jump down this ridge. Fitz tumbles. You see him looking up at you guys. Takes one step, and then the ground shakes. He falls backwards off the opposite side of the ridge towards
How many
Marks
times
and
is
his
he gonna
men,
die?
and starts sliding down and out of view as you guys head
Alone.
off the other side.
Can I try catapulting him my way? Like, how heavy is he being a soul creature?
Well, you guys were on
True.
this ridge, and you guys all started going down, and then he kind of fell off the other edge, so he's not
You
even
mage hand to grab him?
in your sight anymore. He kind of just fell off the backside.
Oh, no.
And as this avalanche is coming towards you, and you guys are all sliding down this ridge, there's basically no way back. You kind of are on this collision course with this cave mouth. Rezik in the front. Dresden, Maeve, you guys instantly
Rezik in the
hit a
front, Dresden
rock.
in the back.
and everyone you see there, you guys are sliding down on your feet while Maeve and Dresden are kind of just sliding on their armor plates, just kind of surfboarding their way down. And you both take
Hey, it
you
works
both
in
take
Zelda.
you only take 1 point of bludgeoning damage as you guys are just like sliding and hitting everything in your way.
We're the shield that Legolas rides down the stairs.
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And you guys kind of just Rezik, you also take 1 point of damage as you kind of trip and go flipping into the cave.
Yeah, let's just say that I like literally Misty Step, and then I still like at the other end of the Misty Step, I still trip and fall on my ass.
Yeah.
Which
Sorry,
Oh,
did
you
you say
guys
Misty
Rezik.
Step?
Mr. Step.
Misty Step. Oh, Misty Step.
Wow.
I hate it here.
Dang.
I'm
Pretty
thriving.
good. Pretty goddamn good. Rezik, into the darkness. Pup, Cornelia, Kelwise, you guys slide and you guys make it. Dresden, Maeve, you guys are
With style.
you guys are not making it fast enough as you are rolling and tumbling. Roll me another acrobatics to see if you guys can kind of right yourself and just
Can I
kind of
try to help to
free
assist with my mage hand?
I got a 10. It's better than a 7, but it's not great.
Sure. Cornelia,
Did you say
okay,
athletics?
Cornelia, acrobatics. Sorry.
Fuck.
Just, like, try to
roll
catch a shoulder?
Roll another acrobatics to try and see if you can continue sliding and help them at the same time.
Okay.
I got a
almost got that 20.
17.
I know I did.
The 17?
Yeah, new dice.
Okay, so you see
It's good.
15.
a 15. You see Dresden kind of right himself. He's still sliding on his stomach, but he's kind of like now like a bullet, like just kind of making his way. Yeah. Supermaning his way down. But Maeve is still kind of just flipping by, rolling and stuff. And Cornelia, you grab Maeve with your mage hand as you're kind of power sliding down this hill, and you try and right Maeve. Maeve, you get advantage. Now roll another d20 and see if...
It's a 6.
Fuck. Oh my god, Daye. How do you do it? How do you do that?
You do it.
Trust luck.
Superpower. It's a
Off on me.
superpower. Yikes.
I
Cornelia,
rolled
not
a
enough.
16 3 rolls ago.
Maeve, it's not enough. You guys all go slipping into this cave as this avalanche overtakes Maeve. And Maeve is just
How do
starting to
you
get
do it?
mangled and crumpled into this huge field of debris. And Maeve, you take 16 more points of bludgeoning damage as these rocks just start to
Damn.
smash and beat your body. And you go flying into the cave entrance. All of you now go flying into this cave entrance as it gets covered up. You guys are in this dark cave as it winds down. You guys are flipping down, and you can... And Kelwise had told you that there's these cliff faces all in there. Everybody roll me another athletic save, or an athletic save. Athletics or acrobatics, whichever is higher,
Or
to see if you can kind of stop yourself before you go
In my
flying
head
too far into
canon-
this cave.
I left my torch in the cave, so like it wasn't pitch black. I didn't say that, but in my head canon, I did.
Rolling that.
Okay.
it's like a Minecraft. You plant all your torches. you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
for later.
Okay.
You say athletics or acrobatics?
Either
Either
one.
or.
Natural
get,
20
Maeve?
again.
Oh
Yeah,
my
me
God.
too. Hey.
Well, yeah, about
Hey.
the
Nat 20, nat 20 cup. What'd
Are
you
you
get?
throwing dice?
Yes, fuck them.
What did you get, Dresden?
I have a pretty good athletics, so I got an 11 because I rolled a
11?
fucking 5.
What'd you get?
I rolled an
Maeve?
18.
18. Maeve?
13.
Ooh, a 13. So you all kind of go flipping down. This giant dust cloud goes after you. Let's see if it puts out the torch. It does not put out the torch below you. This
Yay,
giant
the
dust
torch
cloud.
rolls
You
better
guys
than
can
me.
barely see, and you guys all kind of stop yourself, all except for Dresden, who kind of just goes off the edge, grabs the edge at the last second, and just
Mage hand.
smashes himself against the
Real
side,
hands as
and it
well.
just- and it tugs on every ligament from here down. You just feel it all just get pulled out of socket for just a second as it all pops back in. And you
Try to
guys
pull him up. Try to pull him up.
all find yourselves just in this just dark area, lit only
Misery.
by
In misery.
a single torch here. And even those of you who have dark vision, you look off down these, it would look like almost step platforms, some of them 15 feet, some of them 25 feet, as these little platforms just kind of weave their
Wow.
way almost straight down. You look into the darkness and it just keeps going.
So how far down are we? 200 feet? 300 feet?
Well, you guys had gone down that 50-foot ridge,
50
which
foot.
had
Okay.
dropped you about, like 20 feet or so down this other side of the ridge, which wasn't all the way. And then you had kind of slid into this cave, which dropped maybe another 10 or 20 feet. So you're not that far down yet, but this
But
seems to drop precipitously. What looks like hundreds of feet straight down almost.
We just lost Fitz.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Fuck.
Did everyone else make it?
Is everyone
I'm
here?
here. But I'm very... I hurt a lot.
Oh no. What's the matter? I'm gonna try to help. I'm gonna
I've
put
got
pressure to the wound. I could put pressure to your wound.
Get out of the way. Hold on. I'll cast Cure Wounds.
Get out of the way. That's not doing anything.
Okay.
I got hit
you
by
get
a lot
cure
of
wounds.
rocks and a lot of arrows.
I'll roll that in just a moment when I look up. Okay, there we go.
Cornelius is like putting a hand on like a wound, but just going a different direction.
What hurts?
Out of the way.
You get
We
8
still have
points
his
back.
body too,
Thank
so
you.
this is tragic.
So from here, do we see light? Do we hear wind? Do we see
Nothing. You really don't
water?
hear much of anything. It's just kind of that
Do we
very damp air
Disturbing.
and maybe a few echoes of just disturbed dirt and rocks kind of trickling down and falling off ledges here and there. Other than that, and it kind of echoes loudly through this whole place.
And it's all solid ground. We don't see water. Does it
Don't
go
see any
down
water.
deeper? Are we on
It-
the
it-
bottom that we can tell, or does it go deeper?
Oh no, there's a bunch of platforms that drop 10 feet
Okay.
here, 25 feet here. There's
Oh,
just a whole
geez.
series
Okay.
of almost like steps.
All right. Well,
Well, we're gonna need to
Un-
go further in, or else we're gonna be in trouble.
uncoiling my rope, yeah.
Yeah.
Start smashing a piton in, anchoring it. We know this.
Okay.
That's old song, right?
Yeah. It's,
Okay.
Let's take
You
our time,
guys-
but also be swift about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're gonna climb down instead of like blowing our way out.
Well, we
Well, there's
Wake
still
up,
ran
there.
it.
Trust, wake up. We need your thunder wave.
We need the dancing
Um,
lights too. It's dark in here.
I want to go up and check.
Who
It's
can't
like
see?
sealed off, right?
It's sealed off by not only a
Dresden, I can't
large
see.
amount of like debris and dirt
I
and
can't.
soil, but some pretty large rocks as well.
Good. And no, I can't see shit. So
No, most of us can't. I think it's literally just Cornelia.
awesome. Well,
Oh,
rope's
I
here.
can make 2 of us see. Who's the most bestest at using their eyeballs?
I mean, if
Um,
it's magic, maybe hold on. We might need it more later. Now this
I'm a
is
Yeah.
just-
dwarf. I think I have dark
You have
vision.
dark vision.
Yeah, you do.
Yes,
Okay,
you
then
do.
I'm good.
It's literally just like humans and halflings. And I guess changelings. But it's like literally like just those two. Everyone else has
It's
it.
dark vision.
Yeah.
That's my biggest complaint about 5e. Is like
Yeah.
darkness
Cullen
doesn't mean
hates
anything
dark vision.
for like 90% of people.
Yeah.
It's like it's dark, and I'm like, oh, I'm so scared. I can see everything. I'm like, oh, no. That makes it less scary, I guess.
So you
okay,
guys are
I'm-
scared?
I've got a torch. Never.
so we at least have
Alright.
2 torches.
Yeah.
Kelwise
It's
and
pretty
Dresden both light
funny, though.
torches.
How
And
many?
you guys are gonna start climbing down.
How many? Well, how many torches do we have? I've only got this and another one. Anyone else?
I've got a
Oh,
few in my
I have
think I
backpack.
have some torches.
I think we
Yeah.
all
don't
have
have any.
at least one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
have at
bought
least
torches
one.
as well.
I don't remember having them.
Yeah, I've got a few more.
I'm gonna make
How
sure
many?
as
I
we
have
are
3.
walking, I'm gonna
same.
be covering our tracks. So in case they do make it in this cave, I want to make it look like nobody has been in here. So potentially we went on the other side, whatever. But I'm gonna be covering our
Well,
tracks.
Dresden is putting a
Gonna be
piton in
ki-
the ground.
Yeah, it's
so.
gonna be kind of tough.
Well, I'm
to
gonna be
put a
taking
piece
that
on
out. Damn it, Dresden.
You gonna climb
it.
down without?
All
it?
right.
Well, Cornelia, you could go last and maybe float down
Oh,
afterward.
I can
Yeah, I
do
was
that,
gonna
guys?
say.
depending on how low it is, I might be able to go last also.
wait. Doesn't Rezik? Don't you have featherfall? Can you make us all
Yeah.
featherfall?
Yeah, I was gonna
Just wanted
say because because the goal right now is to try to find the water source, right? Where the water's
No, the
flowing.
goal right now is to just
Get
get
out.
the fuck out of here.
Well,
we
but
assume
Yeah.
that the water is going to flow to the deepest point and perhaps hopefully flow out. That's just an assumption.
oh, great. Yeah, that's what I was assuming too. So yeah. I was just thinking if the water, because like, are we hearing the water? Is that like the super down below us, or where's the water rushing
There's
coming
no
from?
sound of water.
Yeah,
It's
Oh,
just
I thought you
It
said
was
that
just
you were
moist.
earlier.
feels
it's just
damp.
moist.
It just feels damp.
Oh, it just
air.
feels damp.
Like the whole
Damp.
place has felt damp. Like our boots have been getting damp, so it's nothing's changed.
Okay. But yeah, I could use Featherfall and help us get down a significant amount of distance if you want.
We don't know what's down here. We don't know what we're gonna need from you in the future.
Yeah.
I think we try and be conservative with our cancerous magic.
Yeah.
Save that in case someone falls.
Okay, good idea. Yes.
I'm really
so
good
how
at
many-
falling. So I should go last and make sure you guys get down safe.
Okay.
All right.
Are you sure you don't want Cornelia to go though? She can literally fly.
Oh yeah. Wait, but does that cost magic, or do you just?
It's her cape.
Oh, that's right. Okay, never mind. I'll go second to last.
What was the torch count, by the way?
I have 3.
3?
I think I probably just have one.
I've
With
never
all the
written
stuff
any
I'm
down,
carrying.
so Pub probably lost them.
Yeah, I've given everyone torches, but it was a long time ago. A long time ago.
I have 10. That doesn't sound right. It says 10.
That seems
I
right.
have
That
mine.
actually seems very right.
That seems right.
Okay.
Probably include mine. So that I wouldn't
torches,
lose them?
You never know when you might need more or when people might run out. So I'll just get 10.
We were in Agrad
Okay,
for quite a while, so
I don't know.
Sounds
10.
very, very Resic.
You know, I will say this though. As a
Rude.
player, and someone who always plays humans, I always have about 10 torches on me, like all the time.
Yeah, you
This is
can't
so
see in
cute.
the dark. You need them.
So
Or
Okay, so-
humans.
Resic,
little
10. Awesome.
humans.
Good. All right. And then 1, 3. So we have let's say 16, 17.
Yeah.
So that's 16 or 17 hours of light. Let's try and keep it to a minimum. Maybe one at the head and one at the at the back of the line. So whoever goes
Like,
down first,
We
take
might
one
want
with
to
you.
separate the people who can already see in the dark too.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe Maeve can take the front if I'm gonna be
Sure.
watching the
Yes.
rear and covering our tracks. Maybe
I
if
can do that. I can do that. Yes.
All right. Well, then, Maeve. There you go.
I go first.
our lives are in your hands, Maeve.
Yeah, as long as I don't have to roll to keep you safe, we should be.
Oh, you
and
do.
you guys see Maeve just covered from head to toe in dirt. Armor has
And-
just nicks
and
and
dings.
scratches and dings
Yeah.
all over it.
She was so
Uh,
shiny when we met her. What did we do?
Wait, I thought my armor was so nice.
Yeah, but we
It
all have
was.
hair.
It was so nice.
You just ate it down a rock slide.
I ate it a lot.
You were in a rock avalanche.
See, Melissa, I don't just attack Cornelia. I also
Man,
attack Daye
but
on a
it is-
personal
Oh,
level.
you dirty up some armor. Oh, boo.
You only,
Don't
you only
forget.
I feel like it's really
also
just
attack the
them.
second character.
Oh god,
Forget
you guys,
James,
guys.
Yeah, poor Trust is in a cocoon.
Why
Oh,
does
Adam,
Adam
Adam.
put all the ladies in the campaign?
Oh, okay.
Not the lady
So it's
characters.
just you're right. I'm sorry. So her armor surprisingly pristine, with the exception of it's covered in a whole layer of dirt. It's just dirty.
Tight.
Super dirty, no
That's
dings.
Did it remind
no
me of the chain that I saw that was glowing from the ballista javelin?
That's a good question.
It does remind
Ooh.
me
Ooh.
of the chain.
But what does it mean?
I don't know.
Okay.
Ask me about my armor.
Ask me about my armor.
Maybe after we get down this cave, I might bring that up.
When we're out of like imminent danger.
Yeah.
We're
Maybe.
not
All
crawling
right,
into
you
a
guys
hole.
continue. You guys start crawling down. Everybody, roll me an athletics check
Jesus.
for all these climbs.
Yeah, fucking dice.
Flitwick, bless this dice. Thank you.
17.
Damn
Dirty
it,
20.
Flitwick.
17.
22.
What was it?
I'm good at athletics
Athletics.
now, guys.
Nice.
Hey, you should start rolling digital dice instead.
So
Are you using
7.
D&D Beyond?
I am.
D&D Beyond.
Just click on the skill.
But it's
It'll
not
roll
as
for-
fun.
I know, but maybe it'll roll better.
Actually, Daye, D&D Beyond's very fun and
Yeah,
easy.
maybe you should use it.
And now that it's in the Wizards of the Coast family, it's a
But
great
I have
addition
so
to
many
any tabletop.
dice.
D&D
All right,
Beyond wants you to be happy, so it naturally rolls higher, is what I hear.
What?
Oh,
That's a lie,
What?
but it makes
The
sense.
D&D Beyond dice aren't balanced. Hashtag.
You heard
You
it here first.
All right, what'd you get? Cullen?
12.
12. Daye, what'd you get?
7.
Oh, so
So I just fall down the hole.
so Maeve and sliding down a few times. Maeve just sliding down the rope will sometimes all of a sudden start to spin on the rope and get tangled up. And in one point, Maeve's foot gets stuck halfway through. It just gets tangled around the rope, and you guys watch as it takes, only like 30 to 45 seconds, but it's just a comedy of errors as it gets like caught.
This is
through,
how
like,
actual Daye
her
would
greaves
probably go
and
down.
her like just like stuck on the back of one of her like her boots, just because like it's got like a little spike as decoration, but that decoration kind of just like lodges into the rope. And
This is
Maeve
my
new,
first
guys.
adventure.
She's new. She's
I'm new.
makes her way,
She's a rookie.
makes her way down, yeah. And that maybe dwarves weren't meant for this kind of spelunking. Maybe, I don't know.
Dwarves
But
don't
you guys
spelunk.
You guys travel a long way. You guys start to lose track of how many times you've gone down. And Maeve, roll me a perception check with disadvantage since you're in the
Oh, great.
somewhat
Actually,
darkness.
no, go ahead, sorry.
9.
Covering our
Wait,
tracks.
Wait,
Keep in mind.
perception? 9. I don't have anything plus.
All right. What'd you say, Rezik?
I was gonna say, just because I have the what is it again, the sage background or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, my character's pretty smart. Can you try to keep track of like the distance we travel down, like kind of like counting
Sure.
as we go?
Roll an intelligence check.
Bob, you know
Straight
smart.
intelligence check.
Rezik smart. Okay.
Oh, he knows so much. Shush your face.
16.
16. You're pretty sure that you've gone anywhere between 200 to 250 feet. Just
Oof.
down.
Straight down. Are we moving any? Is it
Not
slightly
it's
moving?
almost-
down,
I mean,
down.
you are. It is
Down,
like
down,
moving and
down.
winding and stuff. And the steps here seem really slick, like they've been just smoothed out with maybe rainfall or something that has come through here in the past. But you continue to go, and Maeve,
Are there any signs of other other people being down here at all?
no, it doesn't seem like there's
Nothing.
Everything looks very natural. And Maeve, you finally get to one little platform, and you start to go, and you start to look over the edge to the next platform, and this cave just seems to open up into this what feels like a massive room, and you can't see in front of you, below you, to the sides, but you see it just a hair too late as you start to because you're expecting another ledge. Roll me a dexterity saving throw as you kind of walk up to that edge, and then just the shock of this
I grabbed a
vastness
different
hits you.
D20, but now I'm scared. Okay.
Grab the same D20. Grab the bad D20. You're really good.
D&D Beyond.
Oh, right. DDB. What is it? Am I doing?
You
Dex save?
yeah, just
Dexterity
click on deck save and it
saving
should roll
throw.
it for you.
Sorry,
Uh-oh.
my internet. It's rolling.
You can now
very
customize
slowly.
your digital dice on D&D Beyond.
It's rolling
Really?
so slowly.
Yeah, I know. I just clicked it too, just to see, and it
Just
rolled
make up a number. Just
so
kidding.
slow.
21.
Hey!
Whoa!
D&D Beyond wants
You don't have a 2 and a 1.
wants you to roll with
It's-
them.
That's a
Yeah, you
3.
don't have a 2 and a 1. You're rolling with advantage. So you kind of walk up to the edge, you look over, and the shock. It's just this vastness of an expanse. And you weren't expecting that just because you were in such tight quarters. This massive, massive cavern is in front of you. And you can only tell because some of the rocks fall off the edge. Fall down, down, down. And you don't hear them for a long while until it just echoes ever so
Hits
slightly
a
through this
hard
massive
ground, not
space.
It wasn't a splash.
a splash.
There was no splash.
Rezik, there is a very long fall after this ledge. Perhaps it is feather fall time. I don't know what else to do.
How long did it take that rock to hit the ground?
Did someone count 1000s? Kick another one over, we'll count.
I kick some rocks.
kick some
I go
rocks.
kick rocks.
Freaking rock.
You go and you kick some rocks off, and it's anywhere between 10 and 12 seconds before it hits the ground.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, I
Okay.
guess we can, right?
That's a long time.
That's a really far
Featherfall lasts for a
drop.
minute.
Well, it's that or go back up.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, we're gonna need it. I mean, that might be 1,000 feet, 32 feet per second.
10 seconds
10
for
seconds.
Squared.
Squared. I don't math.
Can I listen again for any wind, tunnels, light tunnels?
It's almost 500 feet.
Yeah.
You listen. Roll me a perception.
Come on, perception! Ooh, 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 ooh. That's good.
That's good.
It ends up being a 25.
25. You hear the rocks bouncing, the echoes, and it gives you some degree of scope in this cave, and you kind of use those echoes to triangulate, and you can tell that, like, to the left, the echoes don't bounce from a certain angle. It's like they bounce a little bit and they come back to you, but from one angle it seems like this massive cave enclosure seems to extend far, far, far off. But you don't hear
So it
anything.
sound-
There's no wind here, even though the air is a little wet and moist. There's really no, like, currents other than you kind of just moving through.
So it does sound like it continues to the left.
Yeah,
like the
it does sound
tunnel
like this.
continues through.
Mm-hmm.
Is it after we move further down or at the level that we're at right now?
It seems to just, it's hard to tell. You don't hear, you can assume probably this entire cavern is just massive, and so it would be all the way down to the floor and up. It seems like this place has nearly 400, 500, 600 foot ceiling.
I tell that to the people, to the group, whatever they can take from that.
So it's massive.
It's massive. Sounds massive.
But safe.
W-
From them, at least.
Yeah, can we hear anything coming behind us? Like the
No,
tunnel being
I mean,
uncovered?
outside, it was there was a pretty sizable avalanche of rocks, so it would take days with the correct kind of equipment to try to tunnel that out. You don't hear any. You didn't hear anything coming from the top when you were right next to it. You still don't hear anything coming from behind you.
All right. Well,
Hey,
looks
Pup.
like the only way out is through, right?
Hey, Pup,
Hopefully.
do you remember, I don't remember who, but somebody was talking to us about how you could just create a portal. Wasn't somebody talking about that? Where you can just
I
move
think it does.
through,
Through portals?
but it has to already exist. You can't.
Just like that one
Create
that we
one.
did to get to out of the forest that one time. To get the first.
Yeah,
Yeah, they said
there
that
already has
eventually,
to
over
be.
time, maybe the pup could tap into that, but I don't know if we really. I don't know. Maybe.
I can try.
Might as well.
Portal.
Don't hurt yourself.
Oh, back up. Back
Try pooping one out. Just kidding. There's one form.
I'm gonna pass out.
Oh my god, just too soon.
If a little
Bob,
starts
you're
coming
turning
out,
red.
stop.
Try to breathe.
My eyeballs are so itchy right now.
Don't do that.
That's a bad sign.
Yeah. Yep, I knew. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did one.
And you guys feel a soft breeze, which is
I felt something.
unique. Yeah.
Damn it.
Eyeballs, y'all.
Did it
He's
get
gonna blow
damper?
up.
Acting.
Okay.
So you're saying
Well,
that
was a
didn't
no.
work.
Good try, though.
So what you're
Um,
saying?
All right. Those of you that can see.
Can I just make a shadow appear that shrugs? Somehow in this very dark place, there's a shadow. It's fine.
That's not
Torch is up.
Torchlight. It's in the
Nice and sharp.
torchlight.
Yeah. In fact, the shadows are pretty distinct here in the torchlight.
I mean, yes. Make a very distinct shadow. Go on.
Right.
See like the outline of like the face.
So
Okay.
good try, pup, but it doesn't look like it worked.
Well, they produce
Yeah.
something.
All right. So we need to. We're not going back. So we need to go through. Those of you that can see, can you see anything else
go
on
over it.
the lip of this thing, or are we going off the edge and down? That's the question right now. Because if so, Rezik, I think you're gonna have to make us all fly.
What was the first option? I'm sorry.
Do you see anything on the walls? Any other spot to go?
I'll keep looking for some other ledge to like move sideways on or something.
Yeah, you had said it continued to the left, or potentially, or at least that's where the echo wasn't bouncing back. So it looks like there's a tunnel. Jaymes. No,
there could
that's
be
a
a
no.
big tunnel.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. You just didn't hear an echo coming from that direction. Presumably, it's because there's no wall there.
Well, should I drop a lit torch to see if it lights up anything on the way down that we can see that might be useful, or do we not want to waste it?
Wait, hold on. And I pull out I have some moss, some like flammable moss, so we don't need to waste a whole torch.
Oh,
Light this up and just drop this over.
lighting it up.
How wise.
I'm sorry, is this like just like a straight drop, or is there a wall that goes down?
It seems that there's a wall underneath you, but
Dude,
the
we
wall
never-
kind of curves and then comes back and concaves in out of sight.
Why do I feel like I remember us getting a jar of the spit of
Oh yeah, primer hoof.
Yeah, I feel like we have a jar of primal hoof spit.
I don't know. I
Damn.
remember.
We do.
That sounds crazy. Which
No, I'm sure
I
Pop
don't
did at some
know.
point. Yeah.
I don't
We did.
remember.
We did. We
I
collected
wasn't there.
saliva.
technically.
did we use it already?
Maybe we used
We
it.
definitely haven't used it. I don't think
I
we've
don't remember
used it.
using
I
remember
think we
doing
did.
that.
Maybe it was later, and we just like put some of it on our hands and feet because we needed to be
did
more
use-
sticky
Yeah.
at one
Did
point.
we?
Oh, which reminds me, when
the
you light that
primer
moss,
itself
keep it far away
licks-
from you.
Okay.
I mean, okay, so you light the moss and it drops down, and you can see just this cavern opens up, and then the moss itself, as it gets farther, is just a light, not lighting up anything. The edges of the light kind of just darkness as it falls and falls and falls slowly, and it burns up completely before it even hits the ground, but little wisps, you can see just the tiniest little wisps hit the bottom, and then
Do we hear
Water.
drums?
there are no drums.
Okay.
So it distinguishes, it doesn't stay lit.
Well, it kind of just hits the
It
ground.
fades
and
out.
burns out. Yeah, it's hard to
Oh,
tell.
I see.
It's hundreds of feet away.
All right. So was that a yes or no on the ledges?
I cannot see anything.
All right. So I think we're just headed down, right?
Sounds like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I take that lit torch and I just toss it over the edge.
Okay, and it takes a similar trajectory, hits the ground, and you hear it clung, 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 and the wooden sound kind of echoes throughout the cave a little bit. The torch itself stays lit down there, and you can see it burning
All right.
down on the ground. It
Rezek,
doesn't seem to be extinguished by water.
how many
So,
of us can you do?
5. But luckily, Cornelia has a cape, and Pup is good at falling. You said?
I don't
Yeah, I
think
can
Pup's
pick
that
up
good at
someone.
falling.
I don't think I'm that good at falling, but I'm pretty good at falling.
That's true.
All right. Cornelia, you can carry someone though? Or someone can hold on to you?
So
Oh, yes,
Cornelia-
we were doing that earlier. She was on. Yes, we were flying together earlier.
You
I
feel
could
like
do it
rolling
again.
those dice again?
Or I
Yes.
can go last again. I could just make myself small.
That might be
What if-
better.
Just in case, because I'm
Fairy
good at
people.
falling.
Well, if
Well,
I go with
you
Cornelia,
would be
Rezek-
small and Cornelia would carry you, is the thing.
Oh, sure. Okay.
And carry
Yeah,
you.
Pup's
Makes
saying if they
sense.
fall off, they're good at falling. So just in case.
There's
you
no
know.
one's that
Okay.
good at falling. It's 500 fucking
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, on the way down, I'm not just gonna let go the first thing.
If
I
you
mean, if
let
one of
go,
these
you're falling the rest of the way.
I'm gonna let
Hey.
go.
Don't let go.
I'm not planning on it. I'm just saying I've fallen out of a lot of trees, so I've gotten pretty good at falling. Not this good at falling, but pretty good at like falling.
Okay, so that's 2. How many of us are left?
So there's 5 of us. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
including Steve.
Right.
You
Oh
said
yeah,
it's
Steve
taken-
would make.
That's it's basically
Steve
that
would
I was
make
what I was
5.
asking.
Yeah.
how
I
many
bet
people-
he's just overwhelmed with this.
Steve
whole
doesn't
thing.
have like a
Yeah.
fancy, yeah. He doesn't have a fancy
Alright.
way to come get down with all his
Yeah,
ideas.
Over there, like,
Fuck.
oh my god, guys, this is crazy. Oh my god.
I have a grappling hook. Check this out.
Oh, would shooting my gun help right now?
I'm just gonna like shoot my gun down there. It's gonna work out.
Yeah.
We have to roast him, sorry. But I can also go back and
No.
It's better to
forth.
roast people
Means
when
your
they can't
family.
hear you.
Yeah, it's no
Um,
fun if they can't hear
You
you.
know, if you're roasting someone and they can't hear you, then you're not friends.
Yeah, let's save it for later.
We roast Cullen all the time when he's not here.
That's true, though.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's why I'm
Means
so
we're family.
sensitive.
But I think it's
He's our
we
family.
intend for him to hear us eventually.
Yeah, you tell me about
Well,
it later. You're like, oh,
yeah,
man,
we
I
had
can't
said
tell
something
what's
about
happening.
friends.
We'll tell him.
You know?
You
We'll tell
piece of shit. I'm like,
We'll tell
Oh
him.
yeah, I
That's
put
me.
it in the highlight reels intentionally for him to hear later. So
Okay, so Pup,
Which of course he
Pup,
doesn't
you make
listen.
yourself smaller. You're gonna ride with Cornelia. Rezek, you're taking Maeve, Kelwise, Dresden, and Steve. Down with you.
yes.
Kelwise
Okay.
is taking? What are you doing, Kelwise?
Oh.
Going with Rezek.
Featherfall?
Falling.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Safely.
Okay.
All right, hold hands or just leap off.
Does
I will
Do
not
we-
be holding anyone's hands.
All right, here's the thing.
do we need to hold hands for it to
It's
work?
5, maybe
Unless
6
you
It would
need
help
to.
me.
Rezek, can
Oh,
you get us
if
all
it
the way
helps.
down there?
All right,
Rezek.
I'll hold your hands.
Rezek,
Yeah. Yep.
can you get us all the way down there?
It will last for a minute,
5
and
to
everything that
600
fell
feet.
down.
a minute.
Feet.
I mean, that's
Can you
that's
get
pretty
us
far.
down there?
It doesn't have a certain amount of feet, I don't think. It just says it lasts a minute.
Took 10
Is
seconds.
our rope?
How
Are we?
quickly
Am
do
I
we
at
fall?
the end of the rope, or do we have more rope we can go down?
60 feet per round. Okay.
Oh.
So
I mean, we can take a while, and I could just go back and forth.
So 10 feet
maybe.
a second.
yeah.
So
10 feet a
it's
second.
600 feet. That's 60 seconds.
All right.
Good thing it's
So
500
if
feet.
So if it's more, we estimated. So I'm thinking.
We did
I've given
math.
you a target, Rez. You're gonna cast this halfway down.
Okay, can we hold hands, please? That's scary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely holding your hand if we're casting this halfway down.
Thank you. I know.
I'm gonna have to slap you to wake you up.
And as for the rope, we would have just looped it through the piton, doubled it up, and then when we got to the bottom, we would have pulled it back through and just left the piton.
Yeah, no. You guys got the rope, and apparently
But we don't
you guys
have
got the
600
pitons.
feet around.
If Cornelia wanted to pull them out one by one and float down, I thought that was what she was doing.
Yeah.
Is that what? Oh, okay.
Yes.
Cornelia was.
I'm gonna wait
What's
for
that
them to
guy
go
say?
down. I'm gonna pull
was-
the piton out, then float down
Yeah.
with pup.
Yes, Cornelia was frugal enough.
We don't.
She was like, "Nope, we're taking
Yeah, that was
these pitons
before.
with us."
We're taking these
Okay.
pitons. They cost money, guys.
Cornelia Co's on a
We're covering
budget.
our tracks.
Yeah.
All right, Rizik. About halfway. That gives us a. And remember,
Margin
though,
of error is what
we're
that's called.
speeding up the whole time.
Yeah, I'll take that into consideration while I do the math while we're falling.
Please
I'll
do.
try.
Just if that torch on the bottom gets really large, you've waited too long.
How long does it take to cast the spell? Is it it's immediate? Is it immediate?
It's a reaction. It's a reaction.
Okay, good. So you don't have
Reaction
to
to falling.
start swinging your arms beforehand or anything.
I have
You
to
hit
throw,
the ground. Reaction. I cast Featherfall.
Yeah, I forgot it's a ritual today. Oh no!
Okay.
Imagine.
All right. Well then, let's do it.
All right.
So you guys all hold
Let's all
hands and
die.
Pup, Cornelia, you
This
guys
is
watch
crazy.
them
This is crazy. This is
hold
crazy.
hands at the edge.
This is crazy.
of
Don't fuck
the-
this up, Rez.
We could send Cornelia down first to see how dangerous it is down there or not. as
It's
well.
too late. I push him.
I just wave.
Oh fuck! If he goes, I jump.
Yeah, we're all connected.
guys all-
Yeah, we're all holding hands. I'm holding Dresden's hand.
You
That would
guys
be a great start to a
all
ride. Just Cornelia pushes you and
fall
Puff's just like as you're falling.
and almost immediately that torch in the rear, still at the back, whew, you see it just fly by as that torch below you, that light gets bigger and bigger, so
Rezik?
unreasonably fast.
Yeah.
Rezik, roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh God.
my god.
I'm holding. I'm
Okay,
ready to
okay.
slap him if I need to wake him back up.
Okay.
Yeah, Cowboys is holding a
Roll me
slap.
a Constitution
That's
saving
true.
throw.
Okay, may I ask though, before this happens, what is this for? Is this for me being able to have the durability to cast a spell?
Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, because just again, I am a
just
warcaster and I
roll
have trained to have advantage on that kind of stuff.
Oh, his
Just saying,
special.
it's
Yeah.
part of my part of my
James,
skill.
the
Background.
Warcaster.
Backgrounds
Oh
are
my God.
important.
Wait,
James,
remember
quit laughing at him. He's trained.
Say
Wait,
Roll
Jaymes,
me.
by the way,
He's
Constitution
trained for
saving throw.
this.
By
It is
the
not a
way.
concentration.
I'm
to
just trying to
hold
use
a
all of my
spell.
abilities to help us. That's all. I got a let's see, what was it again? Constitution saving throw. It's an 18.
18. You guys, that light gets bigger so fast. And you just feel this free fall as the wind is going faster and faster and faster to a point where it almost feels like the wind is strong enough and that wind pressure is almost going to lift you back up into the air. And about halfway down, Rezik, poof, your body's just kind of slow. And you're still falling at a sizable pace, but not nearly as just unreasonable as that free fall was.
When I cast it, I'm just going to throw a feather and say New Bay, and the feather bursts out and turns into butterflies and swirls around us as we fall slowly and safely to the ground.
And you guys, it takes another 30 seconds or so to kind of hit the ground. And you do, and it's stone. It's very, very slick stone. Not wet, it's a little bit moist, but the stone here has just been eroded over years and years and years by what you presume is water. The stone here is very, very flat, but it doesn't seem to be, other than in the air, it doesn't seem to be a whole lot of moisture around. Pup, Cornelia, you see that? You see them, you assume they're alive?
We made it! See, we're fine!
And Kelwise, you yell that out, and it kind of...
Hey, are you okay?
Boom, boom, and it echoes loudly in this place as you guys just start to hear those vibrations they aren't dissipating nearly as fast as this whole chamber just starts to explode with noise.
Maybe
That was really loud. Can you tell him to be quiet?
You know what?
Aren't we supposed to be hiding?
I'm gonna just shh
Oh,
back to
sorry.
the cave.
Sorry. It was way louder than I thought.
Cornelia
And Cornelia,
says,
even your
can you shh really
kind of-
loud at Kelwise?
kind of moves through this place.
All right, we should be quiet.
Yeah, tell him, Pup, to be quiet. Tell him they're so
Yeah,
loud.
Cornelia says that you guys are so loud and that you guys should be quiet, and I also think that you should be quiet.
Yeah,
Where's the
tell him.
I was the loud one. I don't get it.
Oh my gosh, and the audio is coming in and out, so it's just like, it's worse than ever right now. Jeez, Louise. You guys
Ask if she can.
All right, let's go, Pup. I took out this baton or
You gonna twirl for us? Give us a show.
Baton.
baton.
Do like a little, like a little routine up there before we go down. Okay, I'm gonna turn myself just into a little pup.
Oh,
Actually, it's more fun if I turn myself into Cornelia.
nice.
You turn yourself into Big Cornelia.
Normal size Cornelia.
Slightly
Wow.
bigger Cornelia.
Oh, big. Oh, yeah.
Do you have hair, or do you look like
are
I
you
look
original
now?
Cornelia?
Are you original Cornelia?
No, I look like normal Cornelia, or like current Cornelia.
Current.
Oh my God! Is that how I look, Pup?
Do you actually want to know? And I give myself. So are we gonna go down, or do you want me to have hair?
I'm just gonna climb on their shoulders and fly them down.
I like
Okay.
just like hair grows out. You can hold on if you need to.
Oh, it's making it worse, Pup.
Okay.
Make it stop.
Roll me a sad acrobatics check.
A sad acrobatic.
Oh,
Can I help at all?
You're making it worse.
You've helped enough, Pup.
Not really. Pup deck. Really, it's just like holding on as Cornelia kind of holds the cape out.
22.
22.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Sadly.
And you do such a good job that you just float down so slowly. It's just so slow. You guys
At
just
like
kind of
the 20-foot mark,
Well.
I'm gonna let go and try and do a flip and like land really cool.
oh.
okay. Roll
Yeah,
me
really
a
great.
acrobatics.
Whoa, Pup.
How did you guys lose Pop? Well,
13 plus 6 is a 19.
19. Yeah. So Pup doesn't tell you, Cornelia, that they're doing this, but Pup, when you get close, Pup just kind of lets go. There's
I, like,
not
go
much
for-
you can do.
Watch this. And I flip down and I like turn into pup on the way down too. Just being
Turn
needlessly.
into Pup.
Yeah,
And you
he's
do a
showing off.
superhero landing where you
Mhm.
punch the ground
Always.
with one fist.
Black Widow landing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I ruined it.
Way better.
I just like look down and like my ears just.
Told you I was good at
You
falling.
guys all make it to the bottom. And you kind of look around you, and there's no walls. That entrance you had come out of kind of concaved in, and the walls kind of spread out all around you. You're in this perfect sphere, this dome of light covered by darkness all around you. Nothing but stone floor beneath you.
So we've got two options. We can either follow the wall or try and walk straight across. And by that I mean we'd have to find the wall first. What do you think?
Jaymes, question. My from the times I've cast it in the past, how much brighter than torchlight is divine radiance when it like when I cast divine favor and I glow? How much brighter than torchlight is that?
I don't think it was that much brighter than a torch.
Okay, then never mind.
10 by divine rank? That seems wrong. I don't think it's that bright. I don't think it's much brighter than a torch.
Well, that's not very divine of it, but all right. Divine radiance, not brighter than a torch.
I know that no surface is ever really truly flat. It probably is a slight incline or decline somewhere. So maybe we should discern which direction it goes toward.
I'll drop a ball bearing and see where it goes.
There was not
exactly.
echo on the left. Someone said there was less echoing on the left, and perhaps it kept going.
Well, and maybe that's the right answer, but you know, water follows the path of least resistance. It usually gets to the lowest point, and that's probably going to be an exit if we could find one. So I would probably trust the ball bearing and see which direction it goes and head that way.
True. Also, if
Do we want
you
to go
tried,
upriver?
what like how far do you have to be from water to pull it to you? What is
pretty good. Like within 60 feet, definitely, but 30 feet usually.
Ooh.
Because
Yeah,
if
maybe
you
you can,
tried
like,
to
try to-
pull water, perhaps it would come to us from the direction it is if we're close enough.
Sure.
But the ball bearing also is very good.
No, that's very smart. I like that.
Try to pull some water.
I think both. We try both.
Yeah. Drop your ball
I
bearing and
hold
I'll
Pup
do my
so
thing.
they don't eat the ball bearing.
I was really about to say I wanted to go for it. No, Maeve wouldn't know.
You know, Maeve wouldn't know.
Yes,
I can see it in my
there's
eyes.
ball bearing action before we entered Hojo, right?
We talked about how Pup
Yeah,
likes to do things with ball bearings sometimes.
Like
Okay.
ball bearings.
You drop a ball bearing. And it
not
seems
right now.
to slowly, very, very, very slightly starts to drift in one direction a little bit, and then kind of hits a little hole and stops. It does seem like there's a small decline in one direction.
That's the way I would head.
Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, like Maeve was saying, maybe while we're walking along, just try to feel out if there's any water sources.
Yeah. I'll keep myself aware of the surroundings and try to feel for water anywhere. Maybe Quinquano would have a sense of which direction water would be in. I don't know how to tap into Quinquano necessarily, but
Who's
Keep
Quinquano?
it.
Killwise.
That's his little magic
it's my
man.
little seraphim guy who lives inside me. Tells me about water. Roll a what?
Roll a survival.
He's my cousin.
Can never plus 5 or plus 6 on that.
Is my cousin inside of you?
My cousin
Conversation
Quinquano.
Conversation for another day.
It's 22.
I love people be like, nope, not right now.
22.
Sorry, 23. Bad math. 23.
I'm busy.
But later.
It does seem You can't tell for sure, but it does seem like if there was water in this place, it would definitely have gone down this. And you can kind of think like if it had rained upstairs, it would have flown through that cave and dripped into this place and then flown off down that direction. You don't know how often it rains, but you're pretty sure down the stream it would go over there.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure we should head this way. Again, hopefully it's an exit and not a pond. I don't know. We'll just have to find out.
This is just an image in my head, Jason, that's kind of cool, is like if we just like poured water on the ground and then you're able to like use it over and over again to see like where it where it starts to like roll, you know? Because you're able to just like control it. Like that
was my original thought until you said a ball bearing, and I was like, oh yeah, that'll roll. That's smarter, actually.
Yeah, the water thing sounds cooler though.
I was gonna pour some water from my water skin on the ground and try to figure it out that way. But
yeah, that would like look way cooler in like a movie. It's just like sorry.
In the movie that gets made about our campaign, we'll remember that we poured water on the ground here. Made it dolphin itself across the line.
There is water.
Yeah, just because keeps going.
Is that your dolphin?
Is that a dolphin?
Can't do a good dolphin noise.
That's pretty good.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. 10 out of 10, everyone. Cullen, your turn.
I can't dolphin.
I can't dolphin.
No.
Try.
It sounded like SpongeBob laughing, actually.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, I diverted us to a. Keep going. Sorry, James.
James doesn't get a turn?
No.
That's fun.
I don't believe it. Not believable.
His friend Joshua laughing at.
I'm not a dolphin voice actor, okay?
We need effort.
I don't even
even
know. Like,
care.
what does Flipper sound like? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. There we go.
Give him to the thing. Give him to like the thing.
Yeah, I was like, and get into the body of the dolphin up in the water.
Method
flipping their
acting.
Tail. Yeah.
And I'm from Cullen?
I essentially live in like a studio apartment now, so Brooke is trying to sleep about 12 feet that way.
Yeah, it's like 2 in the morning.
Quiet, dolphin.
Just try it.
Do you not think she'll be impressed by your dolphin impersonation?
You're a whispering
There's only one way.
dolphin.
It could be a low pitch dolphin.
Loud-ass fucking dolphin.
Whisper some dolphin sounds at us real quick.
Oh my God.
ASMR it, yeah.
For advantage on your next roll, right, James?
Yes.
That's what
Maybe
he
you'll
said
get
it.
inspiration.
I have to sleep next to this woman. She'll murder me.
She'll love you. It's in her contract. She'll love you forever.
Legally obliged.
Yeah, it's in sickness and dolphin noises, I think, right?
In sickness and in dolphin noises. You just got married. You'd know better. That noggin. Anyways.
So which way are you guys heading?
Downhill.
The exit way.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys start to walk. And it's not long before you hear a noise. Hard to describe. Off in the distance. It just kind of sounds like a... and fades away.
Sorry,
What?
sounds like a what?
Yeah, that one we missed.
Damn it.
He did
I
say it was
saw
hard to
the
describe.
mic. I saw the mic king. You hear it off in the distance, just a sound, something similar to...
Like a very tired.
Like a
Chewbacca.
drilling.
I heard a that was it.
Yep, that's what you hear.
Oh.
Whatever you heard, that's what you hear, okay?
Above us or what distance?
Roll a perception check.
Bobby, you're trying very hard, but you are very muted.
Sounds like I got a good one, too.
Oh, that's a
Uh, you heard this menacing.
24.
24.
24 perception.
You listen,
This old dude.
and what's weird is you hear it almost as if you had like headphones in. It comes, it's like it's coming right from next to your ear, but it sounds distant.
So it's okay. So it's
And you guys are
filling.
kind
Is
of-
it filling all around?
Yeah, because
Next to us?
And what's weird is you've heard everything in here echoes, and this sound seems to just die. It doesn't bounce. It doesn't
It's a
travel.
duck.
It's not
Hopefully.
echoing.
It's
Ducks
not
quacks don't
echoing
echo,
from
but they
around
do.
you.
And okay. Did everyone hear that?
I heard it, and hold on, give me a sec. And I just pull out any sharp instrument, and I just kind of like stab it into the ground, just a little bit.
Don't.
Okay, so you stab it into the rock.
What are
And
you
it just-
doing?
That clicking sound of your knife
Okay.
kind of
okay.
echoes off the walls.
Clicking. Okay. Just making sure. If I heard more moaning, I would have been concerned.
Oh,
What do you guys
That's
do?
his
I
name.
think it's the earth.
Is it what?
Do we keep going? We have nowhere else to go.
Yeah, keep going, but keep your eyes peeled.
And ears open.
Where are we going? Is there a tunnel?
You guys are heading
Do
just
we
kind of down the slight decline in that direction. And every time, and Kelwise, when you made that sound, the walls pretty far away. It definitely seems like this place echoes off the ceiling and such, but still just a giant, huge opening. And you walk and you come across, after maybe 15 to 20 minutes of walking, the tiniest little bit of moisture on the ground as you see the small, very, very thin puddle in one area. And as you guys keep walking around and around, eventually it declines and you hit this water line. And the water line just seems to extend off into the darkness. And Dresden, as you're walking off past the light, something flickers in the darkness. Now, it doesn't give off any light, but you see it clearly. And then it disappears in a wisp and is gone. Off above this massive, what looks like a massive lake.
Anyone else see that? That flickering?
No.
Did any of us see it?
And did we?
No, none of you saw it.
There's something out there.
You think it's what's making that sound?
Probably.
Well, we don't know that we don't know it's a foe. And it might be an easier foe than what's back up and out there.
Let me
Please check on it.
It's a flickering.
see if I
light?
can kind of discern at least maybe if it's something moving through the water. And I just want to dip a couple fingers in and see if I can feel the currents.
If you dip your fingers in the water, roll me another survival check.
And I've been through like mountains looking for emeralds and such. Do I have any like knowledge about being in caves? Like, is any of this familiar or?
Well, as you had known, like, you have been maybe in caves a little bit, but most of the people who did the big diving were those teams. And your family's job really was more of the sales. So you haven't really been this deep before
Dang,
in a
okay.
cave. And the environment around here doesn't isn't familiar at all. It almost, I mean, in your estimation, a cave like this, especially this size, should have caved in long ago with a mountain the size that was underneath you. And what'd you get, Cullen?
19.
19. You put your fingers in the water and you feel nothing. No currents, no movement, and you can just feel your fingers and the ripples your fingers have made moving all throughout this area. There's nothing inside it. It's as if the water's dead in some sort.
That's
And you
concerning.
look down into the water and you see someone staring back at you. And you can't look away because it's hard to tell. It's like you can't tell if it's someone looking back at you or it's just your reflection in this weird flickering torchlight. But it looks up to you with these... It's like you're looking at yourself, but it's like hungry as it looks up at you. Roll me a charisma saving throw.
Oh boy. Well, that's a first. That's going to be an 11 plus whatever my charisma is, which is probably 0. 11.
11. Okay. Yeah. You look at this thing and it looks at you and it smiles. Something very, very warm. You get this friendly feeling from it.
But did I smile?
It kind of supersedes and it imprints a smile on your face a little bit.
Okay.
And then it kind of drifts deep, deep, deep into this dead water.
Mm.
And it disappears. And you get this very warm, friendly feeling. And meanwhile, Maeve, you're kind of walking around, just looking into the darkness. And you get this feeling that somebody is looking over your shoulder. And you look, there's no one there.
Not me.
And you look, and yeah, you see Cornelia, and you're like,
Hey.
wow, that had to be Cornelia. It's not. And you start to hear, right next to your ear, a whisper. Have you come for me? Because I've come for you. Roll a charisma saving throw.
Oh my god, that's creepy, Jaymes. Jaymes, stop it.
Slow dice. My die on my computer is literally like rolling across the screen. So slow. 25!
Yes.
25.
D&D Beyond's way to go.
You get
Those digital
like
dice
it.
sure are fun.
They want you to like them.
feel-
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You feel anger, resentment, all kinds of just different negative, destructive emotions. And it takes you a long moment to realize where that's coming from, Maeve. And you kind of look around again, not seeing much. And you look up, and just above you
Oh no.
is this round, pitch dark face with two eyes and this mouth that seems to just get bigger and bigger and bigger until. And that's what we'll pick up next week.
Heard that one. Yeah.
You're so
Yeah, you can't miss that one.
Oh.
Oh, I don't like it.
Wow.
I don't like it at all.
You're so annoying.
Can you do that again? Wow. James.
All right.
Yeah, that's creepy as hell.
Thank you, everyone, for hanging out, for watching D&D on a Monday night. We'll be back next Wednesday for a rerun,
This Wednesday.
and then
This Wednesday.
this Friday we'll be doing a DM office hours, God willing. So at 7 p.m. Pacific, if you want to just come out and chit chat
Oh,
D&D on a Saturday night, drink some beer or coffee or whatever your poison is, we'll be doing that. And then a week from
Friday
today
night.
at 7 p.m. Pacific, that's Monday, we'll be playing live again.
Yeah.
What? We're not live right now?
Yeah, what's this?
In person.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, I see.
I hate these people. So
Maeve dies. Trust me.
so we'll be back. So come hang out for that. It'll be a lot of fun. But other than that, I think we're gonna head out now. It's really late for Cullen. That's our excuse for signing off. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Please take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you next time on -1 Charisma. Good night, everybody.
Welcome,
Sweet dreams.
See you later.